A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And now, Around the World, the Jack Benny Program. Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Rochester, Dennis Day, Bob Crosby, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, this broadcast is coming to you from New York City, where tonight Jack Benny will also do his television show with his special guest, Miss Helen Hayes. But right now, we're doing a radio show from the Lincoln Square Theater. We can't bring you Lincoln, but here's a real square, Jack Benny!
Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking, and Don, that was such a wonderful introduction you gave me. It's a shame it's your last one.
What do you mean, my last one?
Well, Don, this show is transcribed, and the program and you will be released at the same time.
But, Jack...
Look, Don, I'm only kidding.
Oh, say, Jack, did you read that last week President Eisenhower played golf at the club you belong to in Palm Springs, Tamarisk?
Yes, Don. And what a thrill I got when I read that. Just imagine. The President of the United States driving off from the same tee that I drove off. Putting on the same green that I putted on. Tipping the same caddy that called me a cheapskate. What a thrill.
You know, Jack, when the President plays golf, he's accompanied by 20 Secret Servicemen.
20 Secret Servicemen? Mm-hmm. Gosh, I'll bet he never loses a ball. You know, FBI means find ball instantly. But anyway, Don, it's exciting being here in New York again, isn't it?
It certainly is, Jack. And have you noticed all the changes since we were here last?
You bet I have, Don. They've painted the Sub-Treasury building. Brinks has 4 new trucks. And there's a brand new carpet in the Chase National Bank. Anyway, Don, excuse me now. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, where are you?
I'm backstage at the television studio.
Oh, how's everything going?
Fine. I've been watching Miss Hayes rehearse on the set.
Oh, yes, Helen Hayes. I'm sure lucky to get her as a guest star. She's some actress, isn't she, Rochester?
Yeah, and boss, you should have seen her this afternoon. In 1 minute, she went from a mood of carefree, lighthearted gaiety to the pent-up emotions of anger, frustration, and despair.
Gee, what scene was that?
No scene. She was reading her contract.
Well, Rochester, she's probably nervous. Everybody gets excited before a live television show.
On the contrary, boss, everyone's very calm here. Your producer is taking a nap, the director is reading a magazine, and the writers are playing cards. In fact, we've had only one attack of nerves all afternoon.
Really? Who had it?
Your makeup man.
My makeup man? But Rochester, this makeup man in New York has never worked on me before. He's never even seen me. Did you describe me to him? Did you tell him that I'm only 39 years old?
I even went further than that. I told him you had skin like a peach.
Oh, good. What did he say?
He asked me if I'd ever seen the skin on a 39-year-old peach.
What are you laughing at? All right. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
I was just wondering if I could have tomorrow off.
Tomorrow? But, Rochester, just last week you had 3 days off.
Oh, boss, you're not going to count them, are you?
Why not?
We were on the train.
Well, you had nothing to do.
Nothing. Every time we came to a stop, you threw a white coat on my back, shoved a whisk broom in my hand, and we split the tips.
All right, you can have tomorrow off. I'll see you later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Was that Rochester?
What did you say, Don?
I say, was that Rochester?
If it wasn't, I've been talking to a giraffe with a sore throat. Don, once in a while I slip one in, you know? I'm an ad-libbing fool, you know? Except I got it written in pencil and I didn't tell anybody. Don, Rochester's over at the television studio watching a rehearsal.
Oh, Jack, how did you manage to get such a wonderful actress like Helen Hayes to appear on your television show?
Well, Don, I heard that she was very anxious to appear on an outstanding comedy program, so I went up to her apartment and asked her to be on my show, and she accepted immediately.
Well, that's amazing.
I will admit, of course, I used a little trick.
What did you do?
I had my leg in a cast. She thought I was Jackie Gleason. You know, Don, sometimes you have to be very clever about how you... See who that is, will you, Don?
Sure, Jack.
Can we speak to Mr. Benny?
Say, Jack, it's a fella and 4 girls. They want to talk to you.
To me?
Mr. Benny, my name is Rogers and Hammerstein.
Rogers and Hammerstein?
No, Rogers and Hammerstein. The N stands for Nathan.
Oh. When you told me who you were, I was amazed. You know, you have a very famous name.
Yeah, I know. Nathan sells hot dogs in Coney Island.
Oh, well, look, Mr. Hammerstein.
Just call me Nate.
Well, what can I do for you, Nate?
Well, myself and these 4 girls here are members of the Jack Benny fan club. I'm the president.
Well, how long have you people been my fans?
Mr. Benny, we realized you was our kind of guy when we first saw you at the Palace Theater.
Gosh, when was that?
Yesterday evening when you was arguing with a cashier about changing the prices.
Oh, were you there?
All the time till the cops broke it up.
Well, look, it's very nice of you to come over, but right now I'm doing a radio show.
Yeah, that's why we came over. The girls want to welcome you to New York.
Welcome me?
Yeah, take it, girls.
Hello, 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 hello there. Hello, beautiful. How'd you get so beautiful? Where'd you get those lovely big blue eyes? Where'd you get them all? Where'd you get them? You're our lover boy. What a handsome cover boy. How do you stay young? Please put us wise. When you smile at us, we get ecstatic. But your fiddle should stay in the attic. Oh, hello, beautiful. You are all so beautiful. Yes, you are the one we idolize, lies, lies. Boing.
That was very good, girls. Very good. And Mr. Hammerstein.
Just call me Nate.
Well, Nate, I want you to know that I appreciate your bringing the girls over to sing to me. Tell me, what was that boing at the end?
One of their girdles broke.
Oh. excuse me. Come in.
Hi, Jack.
Well, Georgie Jessel. Georgie, what are you doing here?
I'm looking for a kangaroo with a sore throat.
Oh, yeah.
No, I tell you why I'm here, Jack. I get one in every once in a while. Jack, I'm ashamed of myself. You know, you were good enough to MC the testimonial dinner that the Friars gave me the other night, and I didn't even get a chance to talk to you.
That's all right, Georgie. You were busy.
Well, I didn't feel right about it, so I thought I'd come over and say hello.
Well, thanks, Georgie. That's nice of you.
And as long as I'm here, I'd like to make this an occasion for welcoming you to this great and thriving metropolis.
Georgie, no speeches now.
I just got a few notes.
Oh.
Yes, my good people, faith, hope, and charity, without which we would all be striving without point or purpose.
George, I'm doing a program.
And on behalf of the 8 million residents of this community, we welcome you, Jack Benny, to the great city of New York.
Is that all?
No, I'd like a glass of water now.
I've never seen such a guy. When other people meet, they shake hands. He delivers an address.
I'm sorry, Jack.
That's all right. By the way, Georgie, this is my announcer, Don Wilson.
Yes, of course. You know, Don, I've seen you at so many of the dinners in which I've been the Toastmaster.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, and if you'd look up from your plate once in a while, you'd see me, too.
Say, George, I hear Jack made a very good MC at the dinner the Friars gave you.
Don, Jack was just wonderful. He said so many nice things about me.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did. His speech was so beautiful. He paid me such glowing compliments. I sat there thinking, either he's lying or I'm dead.
Georgie, I could have paid you a lot more compliments, many more. In fact, I had so much material left over that I'd planned to do a sketch tonight based on your life.
Oh, no. This is your show, and the Friars have already honored me, so let's do a sketch that I've written about your life.
But I'd rather do your life.
No. This is a half-hour program, and the way I've lived, you'd never get mine in, believe me, Jack.
Well, if that's the way you feel, go ahead, let's hear it. Now, this is a story about my life.
Your life. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Benny story. Or you can't take it with you because he owns it. And music. Our story begins with the birth of Jack Benny in the year 1894, 39 years ago. It happened in the little town of Waukegan, Illinois. The proud parents gazed with delight on the blue-eyed baby. And it was at this moment that Jack Benny's voice was heard for the first time.
Look at him, Papa. He's so cute.
Yes, we'll call him Jackie.
Doctor, I want to ask you something. Oh, I know all parents think their children are unusual. But honestly, Doctor, isn't our Jackie different from most babies you've delivered?
I can't tell. I'm also a veterinarian.
Look at little Jackie, Papa. He's got your mouth.
And he's got your nose.
And he's got your eyes.
And he's got your ears.
But look at his hair.
That's mine. It slipped off.
Quiet now.
Now, Mr. Benny, about my fee.
Oh, don't worry, Doctor. Just mail your bill and my son Jackie will send you a check.
Oh, thank you very... Well, now, wait a minute. Your son here, Jackie, he's only a few minutes old. How can he send me a check?
Well, I don't know how he did it, but he's already saved $800.
And so the little baby began to grow and make rapid progress. At the age of 6 months, he astounded medical science because he had 32 teeth. All of it. But Jack was a happy little child, and all day long he used to sit in his crib playing with his toys. And as he grew older However, his parents gave him everything he wanted. But Jack wasn't an only child. He had a younger sister named Florence. Today, he has an older sister named Florence. But the years passed, and finally, Jackie entered school. And as a student, he was exceptionally bright, in particular in arithmetic.
And now for the next question, I will call on Jackie Benny.
Yes, teacher.
Now, Jackie, if you loaned $10 to Albert and $5 to Irving and $15 to Tommy, and they all paid you back at once, how much money would you have?
$31.
I'm sorry, Jackie, but the correct answer is only $30.
What about the interest?
Oh, yes, I forgot. And that reminds me, Jackie, I'll pay you the money I owe you Friday.
Good. Good. Then I'll give you back your wristwatch.
It was easy to see that there was something about Jackie that was different from other boys. In his class, there was one little boy who lived near the stockyard. There was another whose home was above a livery stable. And still another who lived next door to a glue factory. Yet Jackie was the only kid in his class called Stinky. But somehow he seemed to know that he was destined for a musical career. And for the next few years, he took violin lessons regularly.
No. How many times must I tell you smoothly?
I'm sorry.
Play it again. Only this time hold the bow with one hand. You are not Ty Cobb. Not today. The lesson she is over.
Oh, well, goodbye, Professor.
Wait. You did not pay me.
Huh?
Mr. Benny, I want my money.
But Jack was persistent about his violin playing, and he took lessons year...
Mr. Benny, my money.
After year...
Mr. Benny, my money.
After year...
Please, Mr. Benny, my money.
Finally came the day of his graduation from elementary school. It was a proud moment for Jack and his parents, for that was the day that he put on his first pair of long pants. They looked kind of bulky over his diapers. And as he was preparing to leave the house, his parents looked at him proudly and they said,
Jackie, we're proud of you.
Thanks, Mother. I'm so excited.
Look at him, Mama. Doesn't he look handsome?
He should look handsome. He's got your mouth.
And he's got your nose.
And he's got your eyes.
And he's still got my hair.
You'll get it. Let him graduate first. And we want to get there early. He's going to play a violin solo.
Friends, relatives, teachers, and fellow graduates, your kind reception to my musical offering has filled my little heart with joy. But I don't deserve all this applause alone. Some of the glory must be shared by my music teacher. That wonderful man, that brilliant genius, that great...
Never mind the compliments. I want my money.
Jack Benny's schooling and violin study were interrupted by World War I when he entered the armed forces. He was really too young to go, but his father was on the draft board. So, early in 1917, we find Jack no longer a boy, but a man, ready to enter the Navy.
Goodbye, Papa.
Go already.
With the war over, Jack's parents knew he'd soon be home, and they made preparations. They moved. So, Jack decided on vaudeville as a career. It was about this time that many changes took place in the entertainment world. New innovations had come along, radio, talking pictures. And in one picture called Lucky Boy, a handsome young leading man named Georgie Jessel scored an immediate smash hit as he sang, One bright and guiding light that taught me wrong from right, I found in my mother's
Georgie, look at this is
Those baby tales she told, some road all paved with
Georgie.
Look, it's me. It's my life story. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. With the advent of radio, many stars were made overnight. And one of the brightest was the man who always opened his show with...
Hello again.
From this, he became a star. When Jack realized that he was a big hit on radio, he decided to get his own program, and first he looked for an announcer. He didn't have to look far because Don Wilson was everywhere. So Don Wilson was hired, even though at that time Jack was on for Jell-O. But gradually Jack assembled his cast. He took Mary out of the stocking counter at the May Company. He reclaimed Phil Harris from a Bowery mission. But he had a hard time getting Dennis Day. The organ grinder didn't want to part with him. Not content with his success in radio, Jack decided to go into motion pictures. And one night, he happened to be at a gay party where every big producer in Hollywood was present. And feeling that this was his opportunity, Jack approached Mr. Warner, the head of the Warner Brothers studio.
Mr. Warner, I realize it's not considered proper to mix business with pleasure, but there's no reason why I can't be a big success in the movies. And I feel that if you and I put our heads together, we can come up with a role that will not only suit my particular talents, but will also...
Never mind. Just park my car.
Yes, sir.
So Jack parked Mr. Warner's Cadillac. But he persisted and finally made a number of pictures for Warner Brothers, climaxed by The Horn Blows at Midnight. It was exactly 1 month after this picture was released that Jack met Mr. Warner at another party.
But, Mr. Warner, there's no sense being mad at me. When you're a producer, you got to take chances. And I feel that if you and I...
Never mind. Just park my Chevrolet.
But although he ruined others, Jack continued to do well. And so he decided to move into a new house in Beverly Hills with his faithful valet, Rochester.
Boss, this house is sure beautiful.
Yes, it is, Rochester, but, I've been thinking.
About what?
Well, a house isn't really a home without a woman.
Want me to get married?
Never mind.
And so Jack moved into the home which he still resides at. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us up to the present. And old Jack Benny has won the respect of his colleagues, the acclaim of the public, and every award that he could possibly achieve. He's still the same man that he was when he started out. And knowing Jack as well as I do, I know that his greatest thrill came one day 3 years ago in a simple little presentation that the public doesn't even know about.
And so, Mr. Benny, from our government in Washington, it's my pleasure to give you this.
Gee, a $37 tax refund.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, on this happy note, we end our story. Well, Jack, that's it.
Georgie, I think you did a wonderful job in presenting my life story, and I want to thank you.
Well, Jack, you deserve it.
Thanks, Georgie. And tonight, maybe the two of us.
You deserve it because you've always had an abundance of those three great qualities: faith, hope, and charity.
Georgie, don't get started
Ladies and
again.
gentlemen, if I could have but your
Georgie,
attention
don't start
for
again,
the next
please.
30 minutes.
Look,
If
George, I don't
put
want
the
speeches.
simple
The
point
half
across,
hour's nearly over
we
now.
must get down to fundamentals.
Georgie,
For
please.
the ebb and the flow of man's
George,
existence,
don't spoil everything.
it is
You
the
did my
basic
life.
things that the substance of all of which, nothing else. The rest
But
is
Georgie,
pencil,
look at
drug
Georgie, this was my life.
The
You're
hours make
spoiling the whole
so
thing.
right. Let me
Oh,
talk.
for heaven's sake.
Let me talk.
Hello? Yeah, this is Mabel. Oh, hello, Gertrude. How are you? I got another letter from Sylvester from overseas. And is he happy? Why? He says in his letter he's been pushed upstairs. Yeah. Now he's got at least 35 guys working under him and looking up to him. What? When did he get his promotion? What second lieutenant? What are you talking about, Gertrude? I know he got pushed upstairs. He was on the first floor of the barracks, and now he's on the second floor. He's still a PFC. But don't worry. As soon as he passes his USAFI courses, it won't be no time before he's a second Louis. Or if he decides he wants to go into some kind of business instead, all he has to do is write USAFI in Madison 3, Wisconsin. And they'll send a report wherever Sylvester wants it sent. Oh, this Sylvester. He knows a good thing when he sees it. Then how come he glommed onto me? I was talking about you, Safi. As for resenting that crack, let me tell you something. Oh, it looks like it'll have to wait, Gertrude. My buzz is flashing, so I'll have to disconnect you. I'll let you know when I hear from Sylvester again. Yeah. Don't take any wooden nickels. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chief hope of our enemies is to divide the United States along racial and religious lines and thereby conquer us. Let's not spread prejudice. A divided America is a weak America. Through our behavior, we encourage the respect of our children and make them better neighbors to all races and religions. Remind them that being good neighbors has helped make our country great and kept her free. Thank you.
Jack Benny program is written by Sam Perrin, Milt Josephsberg, George Balzer, and John Tackaberry, and produced and transcribed by Hilliard Mark. As usual, Jack Benny and all the gang will be back next week at this same time. See you then. Good night. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service. And now, Around the World, the Jack Benny program. Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Rochester, Dennis Day, Bob Crosby, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jack Benny's second week in New York, and right now we'd like to take you to Jack's room at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Unfortunately, he's not staying there. So we take you to his room at the Acme Plaza.
East side, west side, all around the town. Doggone, every time Mr. Benny comes to New York, he always stays at this broken-down hotel.
Good morning, Rochester.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Benny. Did you have a good night's sleep?
Yeah, by the way, what kind of weather are we having today? Is it raining?
Well, I don't think so.
Oh, is it sunny out?
I'm not sure.
Maybe it's cloudy and drizzly.
Could be.
On the other hand, it might be clear and cold.
Boss, if you'd only get a room with a window, we could stop playing 20 questions.
Never mind.
Say, look what time it is. I better get your breakfast in a hurry. You've got that 10 o'clock appointment with your dentist.
No, Rochester. I went to the dentist yesterday, and I'm all finished.
Good. Well, I'll order your breakfast.
Room service.
Hello, this is Rochester. I'd like to order some breakfast for Mr. Benny.
What'll he have this morning? Farina, oatmeal, mush, or cream of wheat?
Ham and eggs. He can chew again.
Oh, that's good. It'll be nice to have him smile at me for a change. Now, what else, please?
Buttered toast and coffee.
Coffee?
Yes.
The management of the Acme Plaza Hotel requests that we make this announcement to our guests. Due to the recent increases in the cost of wholesale coffee, we are forced to raise our prices.
You raised your price in coffee?
Yes, it's 5 cents a cup now.
Well, send it along. Your breakfast will be along soon, boss.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, by the way, boss, can I have tonight off? Some friends of mine are giving me a farewell party.
No, Roger, I have a lot of things for you to do.
Well, can I have tomorrow night off?
No.
Well, how about Tuesday night?
That Tuesday night sounds all right. Where are you going Tuesday?
The same party. It'll still be rolling.
I should have known. Well, Rochester. I'll get it.
Oh, hello, Jack.
Oh, hello, Don. Don, how are you? Don, turn yourself sideways and come in. I didn't expect you.
I just thought I'd drop by. I have a little surprise for you.
Surprise?
Yeah, I was out with your sponsor last night, and he told me how happy he is with your radio and TV program.
Oh, that's nice.
And to show his appreciation, he's buying tickets for all of us to see a Broadway show tomorrow night.
Which one?
LSMFT and Sympathy.
Oh, yeah. I hated to tell him that Deborah Carr wasn't Dorothy Collins. But tell me, Don, how are you enjoying... Oh, that's probably my breakfast. Come in.
Here's your breakfast.
Thanks.
Here's the peppermint salt. Here's a whisk broom.
The whisk broom? What's that for?
Coming down the hall, I dropped your ham and eggs.
Look, I told you can forget the jokes. This trip I brought my own writers.
Okay.
Give me the check and I'll sign it. Here, boy, and I wrote down the tip.
Say, Mr. Benny, wouldn't you like to erase the tip and give me the same amount in cash?
Why?
Then nobody but the two of us will ever know.
Okay, here.
Thanks.
Say, Don, do you care to have a little coffee with me?
Oh, no, thanks, Jack. I've already eaten.
Good. Well, I better eat before it gets cold. I got a radio rehearsal this afternoon, and tonight I got to pick up Giselle McKenzie. Gee, it's been a nice day. I like to walk along Broadway and look at all the signs. There are all the new pictures that have opened up. Beat the Devil with Humphrey Bogart. It Should Happen to You with Judy Holliday. Riot in Cell Block 11. Oh, yes, that's based on the life of Frank Remley. See, I thought the Hit Parade studio was right around here somewhere, but I don't see it. I better ask somebody where it is. Excuse me, mister.
Huh? You talking to me?
Yes. Hey, I know you. You're John L.C. Savone. Well, it's nice running into you again, Mr. Savone. Huh?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Oh, you recognize me? Here, I'll step under the light. Now, take a good look at me.
Holy smoke! It's Jack Benny!
That's right. Mr. Savone, the last time I saw you was in Hollywood. What are you doing here in New York?
Well, I'll tell you how it happened anyway. I was back in Hollywood. I was just hanging around the house. I wasn't doing anything. I was just hanging around the house. I didn't feel like doing anything. Just hanging around the house. I said to my wife, "Hey, you." She said, "Who?" I said, "You." She said, "Me?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "What?" I said, "Answer the phone." She said, "No." I said, "Answer the phone." She said, "No." I said, "Answer the phone." She said, "No." I said, "Answer the phone." She said, "No."
Well, gee, why didn't she want to answer the phone?
It hadn't rung yet.
Oh, well, if the phone hadn't rung, why'd you want her to answer it?
Well, she was just hanging around. She wasn't doing anything.
Oh, I see.
Well, then the phone rings, and it's a quiz program, and I answer all the questions correctly.
You answer the questions correctly. That's what did they ask you?
Well, first they asked me my name.
Yeah, naturally.
They didn't stick me. I had it right here on my driver's license.
Oh, well, what else? What else did they ask you on this quiz program?
Well, they told me that they had asked the same jackpot questions of a lot of contestants. They asked me how many legs does a horse have? And I said 3, and I won.
Wait a minute, John. That's not the right answer.
I know, but I was the closest. Then they announced on the radio that the winner of the 2-week vacation in Honolulu was John L.C. Savone, and I said, "Holy smoke, that's me!"
John, did you say you won 2 weeks in Honolulu?
Yeah.
Then what are you doing here instead?
Well, I asked him if I could come here because I want to try out with the New York Giants.
But, John, you can't play baseball.
With the Giants, that's an advantage,
I see what you mean. Well, John, it was nice running into you, but I gotta go now. I'm a little late for an appointment. By the way, do you know where the Hit Parade studio is?
Yeah, it's just around the corner.
Well, thanks. I better hurry. Goodbye.
So long, Mr. Benny.
Gee, what a character. Someone told him that peroxide would keep his hair blonde, so he drank 3 bottles. Oh, here's the theater. There's the stage door. Now, let's see where...
Hey, you, where do you think you're going?
I didn't notice you, Dorman. I'm going in to see Miss Giselle McKenzie.
Oh, yeah. She left word for you to go right in.
Thank you.
You'll find her on the stage over there. And please be quiet. She's about to rehearse her number.
Okay.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you. If you're young at heart. For it's hard, you will find, to be narrow of mind. If you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams. And life gets more exciting with each passing day. And love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. And here is the best part. You'll have a head start if you are among the very young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. And here is the best part. You'll have a head start if you are among the very young.
Giselle, that was just wonderful.
Huh? Oh, it's you, Jack.
Yes, I came in just as you started your number.
Well, I'm all finished now. We can go.
Good. Is there any particular place you'd like to eat?
Well, how about the Colony Club?
Well...
21?
Oh, I don't know.
How about El Morocco?
Well...
Say, I know just the place. It's a little French restaurant on 83rd Street. You'll love it. It's called La Cuisine est pauvre, mais le prix est bien.
What does that mean?
The food is lousy, but the price is right.
Sounds so nice in French. You know, Giselle, I figured you'd suggest a French restaurant. Your name is sort of French, isn't it?
Well, just my first name, Mackenzie, is Scotch.
Ah, the Scotch. They're great people.
You really think so, Jack?
Yeah, both Phil Harris and I love them, but for different reasons. We turned this corner here, don't we?
Oh, Jack, are we going to walk all the way?
Well...
Oh, come on, Jackie boy. Wouldn't it be fun with just the two of us in a cab?
Taxi!
Are you on a cab, mister?
Yes. Get in, Giselle.
Where you want to go, folks?
Up Broadway to 83rd Street.
Okay.
Gee, as soon as he pushed the meter down, it registered 25 cents. You hear that noise there? What happened to 15 and 5? Oh, well. Giselle?
Yes?
Do you mind if I put my arm around you?
Well, no, Jack.
There we are. Now, as I was saying, since I saw you last, I've thought about you quite often, and not as a singer or entertainer, but as a beautiful... 30 cents. Girl whom I could be very fond of. As a matter of fact, during my many years in show business, I've always thought of meeting a girl as sweet and intelligent as you. You know, yours is the type of beauty that I've always admired. Gorgeous figure, dark, flashing eyes, gleaming black, 35 cents hair. And you know, Giselle, I'm not usually serious. But a date like this tonight could lead to another. Then maybe we could get engaged, and after a while we'd even get married. And time, well, you know how it is. We could even raise a family and maybe have 1 or 2 or even 3 40-cent kids. Or maybe, just like in the song, a boy for you and a girl for 45... Whoops, that was a quickie, wasn't it?
Well, this is a ricochet romance if I ever saw one.
Oh, Giselle, stop kidding. I'm serious about this.
Hey, buddy, you back there. Ain't you Jack Benny?
Yes, I am. You see, Giselle...
I thought I recognized you when you got in.
Thank you. You see, Giselle, I'm really fonder of you than...
Say, Mr. Benny, I got a brother lives in Los Angeles. Name's Crowley, Joe Crowley. You ever run into him there?
Crowley? No, I don't think so. Anyway, Giselle, every man must settle down sometime when a man feels that romance has come into his life.
Cracks his knuckles a lot. Funny you never heard him.
Look, driver, there are nearly 2 million people in Los Angeles. I assure you I don't know everybody.
But Joe wears glasses.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't see him. Now, let's see, where was I?
Romance had come into your life and Joe was wearing glasses.
Oh, yeah. Now, Giselle, as I was saying, there comes a time when every man... Holy smoke, look at that meter. 60 cents now. Driver, stop the cab.
Well, we're in at 83rd Street.
I don't care. Stop the cab. Your meter's too fast.
Look, mister, you can't get in my cab and say I'm a crook.
I don't... You think I'm some tourist that you can take me for a joyride and play me for a 65-cent sucker. Well, you can't go do that. Stop the cab. Here's your money. Now, come on, let's go, Giselle.
But, Jack, what about dinner?
Don't worry. He stopped right in front of your apartment. You must have something in the refrigerator.
Oh, Jack, the CBS radio and television networks, as well as your show, have been singularly honored by the American Legion. And here tonight is Dr. Frank Stanton, president of CBS.
Hello, Dr. Stanton. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Jack.
And also, Jack, I'd like you to meet Mr. James O'Neill, publisher of the American Legion's National Magazine.
Hello, Jack.
Well, it's good to see you, Mr. O'Neill.
It's certainly nice to be here with Dr. Stanton and you, Jack. They say that when you put two Legionnaires together, it doesn't take long to get a convention going. So, Legionnaire Jack Benny of Post 264, Lake Forest, Illinois, we've got our own little convention underway with Dr. Frank Stanton as our guest of honor.
That we have.
Well, Dr. Stanton and Jack, the American Legion is privileged to present these Legion Awards. Dr. Stanton, the American Legion commends you and your radio and television divisions for maintaining a high level of clean entertainment. We feel that the Jack Benny Show typifies that quality. We also wish to cite the networks for their unexcelled public informational services. For these reasons, I am very proud to have the privilege of presenting you with these citations, Dr. Stanton.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill, and you too, Jack. Let me say that we are deeply honored by the American Legion's recognition of our efforts. It has been our continuing objective over the years to bring the American people the best entertainment and the most responsible news and public discussion within our power. This latest testimonial by the American Legion can only serve to give us renewed incentive in our steady pursuit of this goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Stanton and Mr. O'Neill. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back in just a moment, but first...
Hello? Yeah, this is Mabel. Oh, hello, Gertrude. How are you? Yeah, I got another letter from Sylvester from overseas. Boy, he's really in there pitching. A regular 5-letter man. What 5 letters? USAFI. That's what 5 letters. Uh-huh. He just finished his USAFI courses he was studying, and now he's taken a couple of general courses. No, honey, he isn't studying to be a general. General courses means he's just studying for his own amazement. He's taken a course on American government. What do you mean, why study about it? Listen, Gertrude, it wouldn't do any of us any harm to do a little boning up on how our government works. There's lots of things even you could learn. Give you for instance? Okay. When did the Pilgrims land on Plymouth Rock? What? When their airplane ran out of gas? Oh, I gotta disconnect you, Gertrude. My buzz is flashing. I'll let you know when I hear from Sylvester again. Yeah. Don't take any wooden nickels. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Frank Fontaine for bringing us his character of John L.C. Saboni once more. Giselle, I want to tell you how happy I am that you could appear on my radio show tonight.
Well, Jack, it was a pleasure. Tell me, are you going right back to Hollywood?
Oh, no, I have a couple more things to do here in New York, and then I'm going to Washington, D.C. to say goodbye to an old friend.
Who?
My money. Good night, Giselle.
Jack Benny program is written by Sam Perrin, Milt Josephsberg, George Balzer, and John Tackerberry, and produced and transcribed by Hilliard Marks. Don Wilson speaking. Good night. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Victor, world leader in radio, first in recorded music, and first in television, presents the Phil Harris, Alice Faye Show. For your enjoyment, here is the Phil Harris, Alice Faye Show, written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Scharf in his music, and yours truly, Bill Foreman. Today, Phil is given an order by his boss, Mr. Scott. It is the kind of an order that cannot be ignored. In fact, absolutely no one could find a loophole in it, except Frankie. More about this in a moment. First, a word from RCA Victor. You're really set for television pleasure when you choose an RCA Victor Superset. For performance, quality, and value, RCA Victor television is superior in every sense of the word. Yet now, you can buy a superset at wonderful low prices. Yes, you can buy the Selfridge Ensemble, for example, for only $379.50. The 21-inch Selfridge Ensemble with a handsome matching consolette base is the latest thing in television furniture. It comes complete, and you get clearer pictures, stronger pictures, steadier pictures. You get television with picture power, all for only $379.50. And this price is complete, including federal excise tax, full-year warranty on the 21-inch picture tube, and no extra charge for mahogany finishes. So buy the magnificent Selfridge Ensemble. And when you do, ask about a factory service contract. When you buy RCA Victor television with RCA factory service, you get television's greatest combination. And now the stars of the RCA Victor program, Alice Faye and Phil Harris. Phil and Alice's sponsor, Mr. Scott, has called a special meeting of the company board of directors to discuss their advertising budget. As we look in, the meeting has just started.
Gentlemen, I hereby call to order this board meeting of the directors of RCA Victor. I know you are all proud to be associated with RCA Victor. As you all know, our company is one of the largest of its kind in the world. And RCA...
RCA, 21-inch picture. RCA.
Mr. Jellison.
Yes, Mr. Scott.
Every time I mention the name of our great company, you mutter something under your breath. Why, little man?
If it's such a great company, how come I'm a vice president and I only get $18 a week?
That's just an honorary title. You were hired just to pose for our trademark.
Well, someday I'm going to quit, and then you'll have to get a real dog to sit in front of that picture.
Jellison, you're being paid exactly what you're worth. Have you ever done anything to help further the company?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do a lot of research work at home. In fact, last night I made the famous television test.
What television test?
Well, I took 5... I repeat, I took 5 of the most popular brands of television sets and placed them next to each other. Then I peeled the sides off each one, and ours was the only one that held together.
Jellison, that test is used on cigarettes.
All I know is it worked on television sets.
Gentlemen, as you know, our advertising budget is very high, and we must cut expenses on one of our shows. We sponsor Ezio Pinza, Dennis Day, Phil Harris, and Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. And it's up to you, gentlemen, to decide which one will be cut and who's going to break the news to Phil Harris.
You mean we're going to fire Phil Harris?
No, we're merely going to dispense with his band. I asked Mr. and Mrs. Harris to come down. They're waiting outside, so let's call them in and tell them the news. Mr. Paley, let them in. And And, Jellison, I'll do the talking, so keep your flabby little mouth shut.
Big shot, just because he's got 2 swimming pools. This guy thinks he's...
Oh, hiya, Mr. Scott.
Good morning, Mr. Scott.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Harris. Allow me to present my board of directors.
Nice and bombing job. Looks like my violin section. What do you want to see me about, Mr. Scott?
Harris, I'll get right to the point. The company has a problem, and, well, we need your help.
Well, if the company needs help, you've come to the right man. Just tell me how much you need, and I'll have Alice make out the check.
Oh, Bill, don't be silly. RCA doesn't need my money, do you, gentlemen?
Oh, of course not, Miss Faye. Our company is in much better shape than you are, financially. The other way, you have it all over us.
Jellison. Harris, I hate to have to tell you this, but your program has too many high-priced elements, and in order to save money, you'll have to tell the boys in your band they're fired.
You want me to tell... Oh, boss, somebody's been tampering with your antenna. You just don't tell musicians things like that.
Why not?
Well, they're moody. You never know what they'll do. They're liable to fire me before I can fire them.
How can they fire you?
They'll pour a can of gasoline over me and light a match.
Oh, now, Harris, this is something you have to do. And don't worry, we'll protect you. We'll wet you down before you go.
Oh, but Mr. Scott, we can't do our show without the orchestra. After all, Phil and I sing, and we need background accompaniment.
Well, I figured that out. While you sing, Mr. Harris can hum, and vice versa.
I ain't a hummer.
Oh, Harris, I hate to do this. I know your boys have been with you 16 years, and I feel distressed about firing them.
Mr. Scott, do you realize that if I let the band go, Frankie will no longer be on the show?
Oh, you're just saying that to make me feel better.
Well, Mr. Scott, what's Frankie going to do? How's he going to make a living?
Oh, he can always go back to his old job.
No, honey, he can't. His wind isn't as good for that anymore.
What was he, a foam blower in a brewery?
Mr. Scott, please. Remley had a very responsible job. He was a breather in a lobster plant.
A breather?
Yes. When the green lobsters crawled by, he'd breathe on them and turn them red.
You know, if you were talking about anybody else but Remley, I wouldn't believe that story. Now, Harris, stop stalling. Your band has to go. Now, when are you going to tell them?
Well, we're having a rehearsal in a half an hour, and I might as well tell them then and get it over with.
And make sure you do. I'll come down to rehearsal later, and if you haven't fired them, I will.
All right, Mr. Scott, all right. Come on, Alice. Oh, gee. Honey, I hate to go down to that rehearsal and tell the boys they're through after 16 years. I wonder how they're going to take it.
I wonder how we're going to be able to sing without an orchestra.
I don't know, but we'd better find out right now. So on the way down, I'll sing, and you hum for me. Possibilities, possibilities. We're living in a world that's full of possibilities. Ain't no miracle too impossible for anyone who sees the possibilities. If you recall your history, then you will find that all its famous men turned out to be the kind of men who never stopped to look behind. They looked ahead to see what they could see, and they saw possibilities, possibilities. They never overlooked a single possibility. Proven naturally, opportunity is for the one who sees the possibilities. Each time you try to solve a new phenomenon, the skeptics say it's just a dream, I know. But after you're a hero and the job is done, then you can tell them all I told you so. Yes, there are possibilities, possibilities. If you will only make the most of your facilities, folks will idolize, even eulogize the little guy that sees the possibilities. When Christopher Columbus proved the world was round, he called Queen Isabel on his return. She said, now tell me, Chris, about this place you found. He said, well, Belle, as far as I'm concerned, it's sure got possibilities, possibilities. I tell you, Queen, I've never seen such possibilities. And I really feel we should make a deal before somebody sees its possibilities. When little Abe was growing up in Illinois, to be a big success was his intent. Studied so much harder than the other boys, till one day he became our president. He saw the possibilities, possibilities. He never overlooked a single possibility. Proven naturally, opportunity is for the one who sees its possibilities. I guess by now there ain't no doubt about the point I'm bringing out. So if you'll open up your eyes, you are bound to recognize the possibilities, possibilities. We're living in a world that's full of possibilities. Ain't no miracle too impossible for anyone that sees the possibilities.
All right, fellas, this is a rehearsal. Quiet down. Let's have a little less noise. Come on, you guys. Quiet down. Quiet!
James in the park, I had to go pick on a policewoman.
Fellow musicians, this is a big day in the lives of all of us, for today marks the 16th year that we've been associated with our beloved maestro, that talented man who is the leader of our band.
3 cheers for Spade Cooley.
I'm not talking about Spade Cooley. Artie, don't you know who you're working for?
Give me a hint.
All right. Whose name appears on your check every week?
Oh, yeah. 3 cheers for the California Bank.
Look, I'm talking about Phil Harris. What's the matter with you guys? You don't even know who your leader is, and yet last week you all contributed money to buy him a present for our 16 years together.
What kind of a present did you buy him?
A beautiful gold watch. I got it right here in this box.
Gold, huh? Let's see it, Remley. Pass it around.
I can't pass it around.
Why not?
As soon as anyone touches it, it turns green. Now, look, fellas, Curly don't know anything about this, so when he comes in, I'm going to make a presentation speech that'll be the great...
Hey, hello, Frankie. How you fellas?
Good morning, boys.
Curly? On behalf of the boys, we have
Frankie,
something...
I have something to say to you and the boys. I don't like to say this, but after 16 years of being together, it's the cheapest, most awful thing that anybody can do.
Well, you saw the watch, huh? Don't you like it?
I don't know what you're talking about. Look, Remley, I got bad news for the boys in the band.
Curly, the boys in the band bought you a present, and we... What bad news?
Well, it's my unpleasant duty to tell them that... What present?
Well, the boys chipped in and bought you... First, let's have the bad news.
That can wait. Let me see the present.
In a minute. It's in this box. But first, I have to make a speech. Gentlemen, we are gathered here on this auspicious occasion to make a presentation.
Thank you.
Let go of the box. I ain't finished yet. Gentlemen, our leader was born in 1800 and... of poor but honest parents. His early childhood was spent in a ramshackle wigwam. But this Cherokee savage overcame his and by sheer character and personality, lifted himself to the heights of obscurity. At the age of 8, he went to New Orleans. Which reminds me of a very funny story. It seems there were two old maids. They were going down...
Never mind the story, Jessel. Give me the present.
Okay, Curly. We take great pleasure in presenting you with this beautiful hand-engraved solid watch.
Gee. Thanks, fellas. Wait a minute. Remley, didn't you leave a word out between solid and watch?
What word?
You should have said gold.
Well, I should and I would, but I can't because it ain't.
I can't wait to see it.
Neither can I. Hey, this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. A friend of mine's a jeweler. He made it for me. Tells the time, the day, the month, and the year.
Yeah, it's got everything on it. The hands are certainly... Hey, Remley.
What's that?
I don't want to complain, but there seems to be something wrong with this watch.
What's wrong?
Well, according to this watch, the time is now 20 after 13.
So it's 5 minutes fast. It's only a quarter after 13.
I don't believe I ever saw a watch with 13 hours on it.
Jeweler threw in an extra hour as a bonus. I had a choice of that or a baseball bat. And see how beautifully he engraved the numerals. All of them. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6.
Wait. 2 5s?
Yeah. Makes the cocktail hour last longer. With this watch, you can drink for an hour, and when you're finished, you're just getting started.
Remley, that's the most ridiculous thing. Hey, can I trade in the 6 and 7 for 2 more 5s?
Huh?
I don't hear the watch ticking. Are there any works in it?
Oh, of course there are. It's not ticking because it hasn't been wound. Curly, wind it up. Here's the crank.
All right, I'll crank it and you pull out the choke.
Don't be sarcastic. Just wind it up.
Okay, I'm winding it. Oh, wow.
Runs good, don't it?
Yeah, who's the jockey?
You haven't heard anything yet. It's got chimes, too. Wait till I set it. It's almost 2 o'clock. There. Now listen, Curly, in a couple of seconds you'll hear the beautiful chimes.
Yeah, that should be cute.
Now, shh, Curly, it's 2 o'clock. Pretty, ain't they?
How do you tune this thing with your guitar? Probably, I don't like to keep knocking this present, but if it's struck 5 times... How do you figure it's only 2 o'clock?
It's easy. What's the big hand pointing to?
6.
What's the little hand pointing to?
3.
6 and 3 how much?
9.
How many days in the week?
7.
7 from 9 how much?
2.
That's it. It's 2 o'clock. Trouble you is you don't know how to tell time. Well, aren't you going to put it on?
How you do that?
Strap it on your wrist.
Seems too easy for a watch like this. I'll give it a go. Hey, you know, Remley, this watch does look pretty on my wrist. I like the gold with a little touch of green here that seems to be spreading all over the watch as I look at it. What's this thing made of? Penicillin mold?
Please. It's solid gold with a chlorophyll base.
At least I'll have a watch that won't smell. Frankie, I really appreciate this gift. And, well, I want to take this opportunity to thank you and the boys for this watch.
I'll think nothing of it.
I don't, but I want to thank you anyway. Remley, come over here. I got something to tell you, and, well, I don't want the guys in the band to hear it.
Yeah? What is it, Curly?
Look, Remley, I want to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to lose your job, what would you do to make a living?
Well, I'd run for president like everybody else is doing.
Be serious. I mean, if you were to lose your job with this band, what would you do?
I'd get a job with another band playing the guitar.
Run for president, kid. You got a better chance.
Curly, what are you trying to tell me?
Well, if I were to fire you, what would you do?
I'd kill you.
I believe you would. Look, Remley, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the sponsor ordered me to fire the band.
Fire the band? What kind of a heel are you? Firing a generous group of loyal men who pooled all their money and went out and bought you a beautiful $3 watch. You just don't have any appreciation.
But I do, Frankie. I realize that the $3 was a big sacrifice to the boys. It's a whole month's wine money.
Now, Phil, it was a nice gesture on their
Alice,
part.
honey, I know it was a nice gesture. I don't want to fire him, but if I don't, Scotty will when he comes down later.
After all these years, he can't take your band off the air. The Phil Harris Band belongs. It's an institution.
I agree, Mr. Remley.
You agree with what?
The Phil Harris Band belongs in an institution.
What are you doing here, Julius?
I was just passing by.
Well, keep passing. We're busy. Hey, Rem, we got to think of some way to keep Scotty from firing my band.
You mean the sponsor wants to fire your band, Mr. Harris? How can he ever suggest getting rid of such a wonderful aggregation of accomplished... what's that word again?
Musicians.
No, that ain't it.
Will you beat it, you little fink?
That's the word!
Just ignore him. Look, maybe we can play on Mr. Scott's sympathy.
Sympathy? Hey, that might work.
Yeah.
He did say that he felt bad about doing this.
Good, then I got an idea. If he thought the bad news affected the boys in the band, and they did away with themselves...
That's it. If Scotty walked in and saw 26 musicians lying dead on the floor, he might feel a little sorry.
No, Curly, 26 bodies is a little overdone. If we just had 13 corpses stretched out, it would be more believable.
It'd be neater, too.
I gotta record some of these conversations for posterity.
Will you keep out of this?
Look, Curly, we'll just pretend that half the guys in the band shot themselves, and when Scotty sees it, he'll be stunned.
I don't think he will.
Why not?
He's used to seeing the guys in your band half shot.
Get out of here, you little potato peeler. It's the watch throwing me off.
Now, look, the trouble with you guys is you got no finesse. You do everything with a heavy hand.
Yeah, then how would you do it?
I just have one guy commit suicide. Picture the impact of this. Mr. Scott comes down to the studio, opens the door, and there before his horrified eyes, lying in a pool of blood, is Mr. Harris.
Well, you got the wrong boy, Junior. I ain't going to be found laying in my blood. Get somebody else's blood.
How about Mr. Remley?
That I like. His blood ain't very red. It looks like a weak Manhattan, but maybe the sponsor...
Now, wait a minute. You ain't using a pool of my blood.
Remley, not a deep pool. Just enough to go wading in.
We don't have to have anybody lying on the floor. There's a very simple way of making Scotty think somebody did away with himself.
How?
Well, when Scotty comes in, I'll be in the other room. You tell him I took the news very hard and I'm liable to commit suicide.
Yeah?
When I hear you say that, I'll fire a gun. Julius will say, "What was that?" Alice will say, it sounded like a shot. You say, oh, no, Remley just killed himself. How does that sound?
A little plotty, ain't it? Geez, I've heard that on Helen Trent. Girl Frogman.
It's a good idea, and if we stage it right, it'll work. All we have to...
Fellas, Mr. Scott's coming
Oh,
in.
well, good. All right, look, I'll take the sound effects gun and I'll go in the other room. Now, don't forget, when I hear you say, Remley's liable to commit suicide, I'll fire a gun. Julius will say, what was that? Alice will say, it sounded like a shot. You'll say, oh, no, Remley just killed himself. Bye.
There goes an amazing talent. His brain is always clicking.
You can click two if you had billiard balls in your head.
I don't care what you say. Remley's scheme might work. At least it's worth a try.
Hello there, Harris. Have you told your musicians they're fired yet?
Yes. Yes, I have, Mr. Scott. And it's really affected them, especially Remley.
Oh, and how did old Knucklehead take it?
Well, I wouldn't jest, Mr. Scott, because it's very serious. When I told Remley, well, he didn't say a word. He just grabbed a gun and went into the other room, and I hate to say this, but Remley is liable to commit suicide.
What was that? It sounded like a shot.
Oh, no, Remley just killed himself.
How did that go again?
Well, I said, Remley's liable to commit suicide. Julia said, what was that? Alice said it sounded like a shot, and I said, Remley just killed himself. And then there was... Oh, I see what you mean. Let's run through this scene once more. Huh? As I was saying, Mr. Scott, Remley is liable to commit suicide.
It sounded like a shot.
Oh, no, Remley just killed himself.
What was that?
You heard me. I said Remley just killed himself.
What was that?
Wait a minute, that's my line.
Sounded like a shot.
That's my line.
Let's get organized. Scotty, you keep out of this. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah, as I was saying, Remley's liable to commit suicide.
It sounded like a shot.
Remley, stop having your fire.
Miss Faye, what's going on here?
Oh, nothing much. It's just Frankie committing suicide.
That's right, Mr. Scott. He shot himself in the head.
5 times? That's impossible.
Not with Remley. He's got a self-sealing skull.
How can you people jest when Frankie lies there with all them new holes in his head? Poor lad lying there.
All right. You can stop it now. Ooh, do I have lousy actors on my show. Remley, you can come out now.
Well, Mr. Scott, we had to put this act on to try to save the boys in the band from getting fired.
Well, your histrionics are entirely unnecessary. We decided to keep your band.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's wonderful. What made you change your mind, Scotty?
My wife. She insisted.
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. The most important reason for choosing an RCA Victor Superset is this. You get the best performance possible. You get clearer pictures in the city, stronger pictures in the country, steadier pictures in even the most difficult reception areas. And here's why. Every RCA Victor Superset brings you television with picture power, the result of a revolutionary new circuit system and an electronic supercharger. This built-in reserve of power is the reason why they're in a class by themselves, for performance. And now, these high standards of performance are matched with wonderful low prices. Yes, prices on RCA Victor Supersets start as low as $229.95. And they're complete, including federal excise tax, full-year warranty on the picture tube, and no extra charge for mahogany finishes. So, buy an RCA Victor Superset. Get the television that's setting tomorrow's quality standards.
Next, Theater Guild on the Air presents The Sea Wolf on NBC.
Colgate, Colgate presents Bill Stern.
With the Colgate Shave Cream Sports Newsreel.
Bill Stern, the Colgate Shave Cream Man, is on the air. Bill Stern, the Colgate Shave Cream Man, with stories rare. Take his advice and you'll look keen. You'll get a shave that's smooth and clean. You'll be a Colgate brushless fan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bill Stern broadcasting from Hollywood, California tonight. And our guest here in Hollywood is one of America's most famous radio stars, Jack Benny. But first, real one. He's been a champ longer than any man in sports history. So let's salute the great king of the billiard cue, Willie Hoppy.
Okay, Bill, and here's the way Willie Hoppy salutes Colgate Brushless, the shave cream of champions. He writes, I'm a Colgate Brushless booster from way back. Why, I just wouldn't feel in form if I didn't have Colgate Brushless to keep my somewhat tender face from being irritated. No kidding, Bill. Colgate Brushless lets me shave smooth as a cue ball, but leaves my face feeling refreshed. I guess that's because it doesn't dry out on my skin. Signed, Willie Hoppy.
Now, isn't that a sweet picture of a shave with Colgate Brushless, the shave cream of champions? A light, fluffy cream that keeps moist clear through your shave. Takes the fight out of wiry whiskers so your razor can shear them off close and clean. You can chalk up no snag, no pull, no after irritation to this great brushless shave cream. And because it's not gummy or greasy, it rinses off your face and your razor in a flash. What's more, if Colgate Brushless doesn't convince you completely, just send the top of the carton to me, Bill Stern, care of Colgate, Jersey City, Zone 2, New Jersey, and I'll see that you get double your money back. Save money. Buy the big 9-ounce economy-sized jar tonight. Reel 2. Colgate's camera close-up of Jack Benny. Tonight we're broadcasting from Hollywood, and he's one of the most famous stars in Hollywood. His radio program on Sunday evenings is one of America's most famous radio shows, and here he is in person, Jack Benny.
Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And, Bill, I want to thank you for inviting me on your program.
Well, you're welcome, Jack. But why did you have to pick on... why did you want to be on my program?
Well, it was a natural thing, Bill. You see, I've always been very active in sports.
You?
Certainly. Football, baseball, boxing, tennis, basketball, track, all those things. Of course, as much as I enjoy them, I've had to give them up. I'm almost 37, you know.
Now, wait a minute, Jack. I'm 37. Look at me.
Well, maybe you didn't take care of yourself.
Maybe, but getting back to sports, have you given up all forms of sports, Jack?
Well, no, Bill, not everything. There's still one sport I indulge in quite frequently.
Really? What is it?
Well, I like to stand on the corner of Sunset and Vine and go...
Jack, that's not bad. Have you picked up anything?
Yes, 2 poodles, 3 St. Bernards, and a traffic cop. But seriously, Bill, I do swim a little. You know, I have a pool in my backyard.
Well, in this weather, who hasn't? Anyway, Jack...
Been here a few days.
I know you're still interested in sports, because a few weeks ago you had Joe Louis on your program.
Yes, Bill, I did have Louis on my show, and he gave me some pointers on boxing.
Yes, Joe told me about that. He also mentioned that you had beautiful muscles.
Well, yes, I hate to say so, but I have.
Come here, Jack. Let me feel those muscles.
Well, I wish you'd let me know earlier. I would have worn them to the broadcast.
Well, next time I'll call you beforehand. You know, Jack, we've been kidding around, but I want you to know that I've talked to a lot of servicemen who've come back from overseas, and they all tell me what a wonderful job you did entertaining our troops.
Thanks, Bill, and as we come to the close of this year, the first peacetime New Year in 5 years, I, like everyone else, of course, am thankful for the victory and the peace. I'm also grateful that I was one of those asked to serve in the field of entertainment during the war. I know the theatrical world will always be ready, but I hope it won't be necessary again.
You're so right, Jack Benny. But don't go away, Jack. I want you back later in this program. And ladies and gentlemen, that speech by Jack Benny reminds me that this year is coming to a close. So tonight, let's look back and review the outstanding sports stories of this year. Memories of stories that made this year's sports history. Let's begin with the profile of Jack Chevney. Jack Chevney was one of the greatest football players to ever play for Notre Dame. But after graduation, Jack Chevney left Notre Dame to become the head football coach at the University of Texas. And at Texas, Jack Chevney coached a Texas team that beat his former alma mater, Notre Dame. They even gave Jack Chevney a gold fountain pen that bore an inscription which read, "Presented to Jack Chevney, a Notre Dame man who beat Notre Dame." When this war broke out, Jack Chevney joined the Marines. And as a Marine in this war, he gave his life at Iwo Jima when a Japanese bullet killed him. But the end of this story took place this year aboard the USS Missouri, when the Japanese officials came aboard to sign the official surrender document ending this war. For just as the Japanese official was about to sign Japan's surrender, someone noticed the fountain pen that this Japanese official was using. That fountain pen was Jack Chevney's gold fountain pen, stolen from his dead body at Iwo Jima, and it still bore the inscription, "To Jack Chevney, a Notre Dame man who beat Notre Dame." Yeah, that was one great sports memory of 1945, but there were others. Do you remember the story we called The Portrait of a Boxing Team? This was the story of a boxing team, a great boxing team. They were champions, except that they were dirty fighters. They fought dirty. They used foul tactics, anything to win a fight. In fact, they became so dirty that in one fight, they killed a man. And then they were charged with murder. But on the day that they were found guilty, the judge allowed them to go free. This was because of political influence, for you see, this all happened back in Germany. And those dirty prize fighters were the first Nazi party, headed by Adolf Hitler. But there were other great memories of sports events that reached the climax this past year. For instance, do you remember The Profile of a Frenchman? This was the story of a Frenchman who gave one of the world's most lavish dinner parties. This huge dinner party cost this Frenchman over $100,000. And the guest of honor at this Frenchman's dinner party was a horse named Avion, a great racehorse that this Frenchman had just bought. Maybe you'd like to know who this Frenchman was. He was the former dictator of France, Pierre Laval. Pierre Laval, who was killed this past year, killed as a traitor to France. And after he was killed, they carted his body away to the burial grounds. And the horse that pulled his body to his grave was the very same horse for which he'd once given the world's most expensive dinner party. Now the memories of this year's sports stories are coming back. Memories that on this last broadcast of this year we must remember, such as The Portrait of a Love Story. This was the story of a girl named Lisa and a boy named Joseph. They lived in Vienna, and they were very, very much in love. Joseph was a soccer player, a good soccer player, and Lisa began to go with him to the soccer games. She became the official scorer of his Viennese soccer team. The years passed after that, and Adolf Hitler came into power. It was then that Lisa was ordered arrested. But all they found on her was a notebook which she said was filled with official soccer scores. And because she was the official soccer scorer, the Germans let her go to bring her notebook back to the Allies. For in that notebook, there weren't really soccer scores. No, those figures were the formula which gave the United States the atomic bomb. We've just about finished reviewing the best sports memories that took place in this passing year, but we must not forget a story that we call The Profile of a Rivalry. This was the story of a rivalry between two men. One was nicknamed Ben, the other was nicknamed Matty. These two were rivals in skiing, in racing, in boxing. Always it was Matty who beat Ben. This infuriated Ben so much that he vowed that somehow he'd get Matty, and he did get him. But one day, Ben caused Matty to lose his life. For Ben had Matty murdered. However, when Matty died, Matty's son swore that someday he'd avenge his father's death. And this year, he did. For he killed Ben, just as Ben had killed his father. And so this year saw the end of a rivalry between these two men. A rivalry that began in sports and ended in the death for both men. Maybe you'd like to know who these two men were. Matty was the famous Italian socialist leader, Giacomo Matteotti, while Ben was the dictator of Italy, Benito Mussolini. It was Mussolini who murdered Matteotti, only in turn to be murdered by Matteotti's son. we've reviewed the great sports memories of this passing year on this last program of this year. But there's one more story, a story we call The Portrait of a Sportsman. This was the story of an athlete. He played baseball, he played football, he rode horseback, he was a great swimmer, he loved sports, and then at the very peak of his career, he was struck down. He became paralyzed. But he refused to quit. And he finally came back. He came back to become the President of the United States. For his name was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He didn't become a champion in any sport. Yet he was the greatest champion that sports have ever had. And this year when he died, I couldn't help remembering a simple inscription that's over the Arlington Military Cemetery, where America's war heroes are buried. And I think this inscription meant for them applies equally well to him, for it says, "Sleep well, soldier. You are not forgotten." Profile of this passing year. Reel 3. A great star will be back in a moment, Mr. Jack Benny. But first...
You don't have to wonder why we call Colgate Brushless the shave cream of champions. I'll tell you. It's the chosen shave cream of famous champs in all branches of sport. And second, it gives champion shaving performance, especially to you men with tough beards and sensitive skin. It stays moist and active, clear to the end. It tames those tough whiskers, makes them act like fuzz. So if you're looking for smooth, close, clean shaving with no after irritation, then, brother, you'll find it in Colgate Brushless, the shave cream of champions. Ask for Colgate Brushless shave cream in the big 9-ounce jar tonight. Now back to Bill Stern.
Reel 4. Colgate's Candid Camera catches the story behind the story. Ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's story behind the story, here again is one of America's most famous radio stars, Jack Benny.
Bill, I think with the new year coming, there's one story you forgot, and it's a New Year's story. It's the story of a youngster named Robert Burns who came to live with an elderly man in Scotland. These two became great friends, for the elderly man had once been the bare-knuckle boxing champion of Scotland, and young Robert Burns wanted to be a boxer. But one New Year's Eve, the older man was burned to death in a tragic fire. Young Robert Burns was heartbroken over the loss of his old friend, the prize fighter, and with no one left to teach him boxing, Robert Burns gave it up and became a writer. One of the first things he wrote was a poem that's been set to music. This poem has become the most famous New Year's Eve poem ever written. And it was written in honor of his old friend, the prize fighter, who died on New Year's Eve. For now you know why Robert Burns wrote, "Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne."
Thank you, Jack Benny. And that's the 3-0 mark for tonight. We've been broadcasting tonight from Hollywood, California. Next Friday night at the usual time, we'll again be broadcasting from Hollywood. And our guests here in Hollywood next week will be two of the most famous comedians in the world, Abbott and Costello. So be sure and be with the same time, same stations, next Friday evening, when we present as our guests two of Hollywood's biggest stars, Abbott and Costello. See you then. Until then, I'll be seeing you on the screen in the News of the Day newsreel at your favorite Lowe's or Associated Theaters. Now, until the same time next Friday night, this is Bill Stern wishing you all a good night from Hollywood.
Bill Stern, the Colgate Shave Cream Man, is on his way. Bill Stern, the Colgate Shave Cream Man, had lots to say. He told you tales of sport heroes, the inside dope he really knows. So listen in next Friday night. Colgate.
Jack Benny appeared on this program tonight, courtesy of the American Tobacco Company, makers of Lucky Strike cigarettes. This program originated in Hollywood, California. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
with his special guest, Jack Benny.
Come on down to Blue Ribbon Town, where you'll down your daily fare.
With Jack Benny visiting us, there's plenty of excitement in Blue Ribbon Town tonight. Ready and eager to greet their famous guests are Faye McKenzie, Bill Days, Leo Gorsey, Robert R. Brewster and his Blue Ribbon Blenders, yours truly, Ken Niles, and the leading citizen of Blue Ribbon Town, our happy host of hilarious hijinks, Groucho Marx.
Gosh, Faye, this is certainly a red letter day in Blue Ribbon Town with Jack Benny coming to visit us.
Certainly is, Bill.
Say, Groucho, you never did tell us what your visit to Jack Benny last Sunday was like.
I had a wonderful time, and his rates weren't too high either.
Oh, Mr. Marx, you don't really mean that Jack Benny charged you.
I don't know, Bill, but that was the first time I ever sat in a rocking chair with a meter on it. But I must say, the dinner Jack prepared was very nice. He had a beautiful golden brown turkey on the table.
Say, that was very generous of Jack.
Yes, it was. A very unusual turkey, too.
What do you mean?
It was the first turkey I ever ate made out of grape nut flakes.
Was the stuffing good?
Yes, it was. If you like more grape nut flakes.
Well, did you meet Phil Harris? I think he's awfully cute.
Yes, he is. Cute and ignorant. You should have heard what he told me when I asked him if he liked the songs of Rimsky-Korsakov.
Why? What did he say?
He thought they were a great team and wanted to know which one did the lyrics, Rimsky or Korsakov. And when I asked him about Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker Suite, he wanted to know what hotel it was in. Well, everybody knows it's the ambassador.
Hey, Marcy, is our extinguished guest here yet?
Well, everybody's entitled to one mistake, and here's Mother Nature's. Leo Gorsey.
Hey, Marcy, I just heard you talking about Phil Harris. You know, he's an old schoolmate of mine. Gee, I ain't seen Phil since we was in the 5th grade together.
You ain't?
No, just think. 2 whole years have slid by. Say, Marcy, did you enjoy yourself at Jack Benny's house last Sunday?
Yes, I did, Gorsey, but I'm always glad to be back here in Blue Ribbon Town with my own happy little family.
You're right, Groucho. We are one happy little family. I like you so much, Groucho.
And I like you, Faye.
And I like you too, Mr. Mark.
And I like you, Bill.
And Marcy, I like you likewise.
And Gorsey, I like you lengthwise. But really, kids, I am fond of you. Ah, my happy little family. I feel like taking you all in my arms. You, Bill, and you, Gorsey, and you, Faye. Hey, Bill, why don't you and Gorsey get out and make more room for Faye? Jack Benny's main reason for coming up here is to get a complete vacation. He's mentally worn out from doing his radio show for so long.
I can understand that. Jack Benny's certainly been on the air a long time, hasn't he?
He certainly has. Why, Benny's been on the air so long, he can remember when John wasn't even married to his first wife.
Well, what do you want us to do?
I don't want you to mention a single word about radio to Jack Benny, or to do anything that will even remind him of radio. You see, Benny has radioitis.
Oh, I get it. You mean he's allergic, huh?
Gorsey, I bet you don't even know what allergic means.
Hey, certainly I do. Then he's allergic to radio like I'm allergic to jail.
Allergic to jail? I don't quite see the connection.
Well, every time I'm in jail, I break out. See you later, Marcy.
Well, Faye, while Gorsey's breaking out of jail, why don't you break in the song?
I'd love to, Ken. I'll sing Suddenly It's Spring from the Paramount picture, Lady in the Dark. Why is my heart dancing, imagine dancing? You look at me and suddenly it's spring. Why do I keep sighing, not sad, just sighing? I'm young and free and suddenly it's spring. On a hilltop, love is calling. Someone should wish me
I'd like you to meet a man.
There goes Niles again, bringing another pat-pappy poet. Who is it this time, Niles?
Well, this is Simon the Swami. He's a crystal gazer and a very jovial person.
A jovial crystal gazer, eh?
Yes. How does he strike you?
I don't know how he strikes me, but I'd sure like to strike him.
You would? Why?
I've always wanted to strike a happy medium.
Silence! I'm Simon the Swami. My marvelous crystal can tell you if Mama is packing a pistol and whether the step you are planning to take will land on a pillow or poison a snake. But these days I work gazing carefully through our gun sights for errors. I find very few. And during my leisure, I comfortably peer into crystal-clear glasses of blue ribbon beer.
All over America, when people sit down for an hour or two of comfortable leisure, they always seem to call for a glass of mellow, delicious Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Since 1844, we've brewed and sold some of the world's finest beers. And today, Pabst Blue Ribbon is the finest of all. Pabst, you know, is full flavor blended from 33 fine brews. And there's a whole century of brewing skill and knowledge in every delicious drop. Order it with confidence. Serve it with pride. For no matter where you go, there is no finer beer, no finer blend than Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Well, I'm glad the kids are all left. I want Jack Benny to feel like he's really going to get a rest from radio. Oh, there's Benny now, pulling out in a taxi cab. I'll open the door for him.
But driver, 35 cents. Can't be over 7 miles from here to the station. Well, all right.
Oh, hello, Groucho. Well, if it isn't Jack Benny, the last of the Waukegans. Come on, Jack, come into my house. Relax and make yourself comfortable.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And, Jack, I want you to know that I told everybody in town that you're here for a rest and that they're not to mention anything about radio to you.
Thanks again, Groucho. I appreciate that. You know, Groucho, to me, you're just a friend. I've never regarded you as a radio comedian.
Don't look now, Jack, but you just lost a friend. Well, now that you're here, you may as well start relaxing. Just sit back in that easy chair there, and I'll get you a little snack I've prepared over there on the table.
Oh, good. I could eat a little something.
Here you are, a bowl of your favorite grape nut flakes.
Well, gee, thanks, Groucho. Wait a minute. You're supposed to pour cream over them, not Pabst Blue Ribbon beer.
You take care of your sponsor, and I'll take care of mine.
Hey, Groucho, this is swell. It's the first time in years I've been able to have 2 minutes to myself without someone talking shop.
Jack, the word radio isn't ever going to be mentioned around here. Say, how about some music? I'll turn on the, yes? How'd you like to listen to the vacuum cleaner? Maybe I can pick up Stardust.
No, I'd rather just sit here and take it easy and talk about other things than, you know what.
Suits me.
Well, what would you like to talk about, Groucho?
Oh, anything you'd like to talk about, Jack.
Well, I'd like to talk about anything you'd like to talk about, Groucho.
Well, that settles it. We'll talk about women. Say, how are you and Gladys Zabisco? Are you still that way about each other?
Gladys?
Yeah.
No, we've, shall we say, sipped. Pardon me, I didn't mean to serve it.
Well, that's too bad, Jack. Oh, by the way, Gladys was a waitress, wasn't she?
Yeah. Gosh, I'm really broken up about it.
You really liked her, Jack?
Yeah, I loved her. Gee, she was cute. Used to get a lot of tips, too.
Well, that is true love. Oh, well, that's enough about women. Say, there's a great trout stream near here, Jack. How about you and me doing a little fishing?
No, I just want to relax.
No fishing?
No fishing.
All right, and let's talk about women again. Say, Jack, remember that little dance that we both went for when we were in Vaudeville? What was her name again?
You mean Lena Hackenbush?
Yeah, little Lena. Remember little Lena Hackenbush?
Yeah. I also remember that nasty trick you played just because she liked me better than you.
What do you mean?
Well, Lena always went for athletic men, and what she admired most about me was my flat, trim waistline. So you try to convince her that I wore a girdle.
It's not true. I never said you wore a girdle.
No, you never said it, but every time I was out alone with her, you'd sneak up from behind and snap me.
Well, enough of reminiscing, Jack. How about going for a little walk and really seeing Blue Ribbon Town?
No, Groucho. I just want to sit here and relax.
No walking?
No walking.
Well, back to women again. Say, by the way, Jack, I have a picture of you and Lena Hackenbush upstairs that was taken 20 years ago.
Gosh, Groucho, 20 years ago. Would you get it for me?
Gladly, Jack.
Say, is that the one where Lena's running her fingers through my hair?
That's the one.
Gee, I'd love to see Lena again.
And I'll bet you'd love to see your hair again. Well, I'll get the picture and be right back.
Well, Mr. Benny.
Yes, young man.
Mr. Benny, I'm Bill Days, one of Mr. Marx's happy Blue Ribbon Town family.
Glad to know you, kid. What's on your mind?
I sing.
Well, that's nice. When Groucho comes down, you can sing for him.
But I don't want to sing for Groucho. I want to sing for you, Mr. Benny.
Sing for me? What for?
Well, gosh, after you hear me, I know you're going to want me on your program.
Look, kid, I came here to forget radio. Didn't Mr. Marx tell you not to bother me?
Yes, but, gee, I couldn't help it. Being on your show gives a person so much prestige.
Look, kid, You really think it does?
Yes, I do. Gosh, Mr. Benny, you're just about the best there is in your field.
Am I? Would you mind saying that a little louder, Bud?
Louder? Why?
Fred Allen doesn't hear as good as he used to.
Yes, Mr. Benny. Yes, Mr. Benny, you're absolutely top. The greatest there has ever been. You just don't realize it.
Oh, I do, too. Well, go ahead, kid. Sing. I don't mind. Go on. Smart kid. Got good taste, too, this kid. Really has.
I used to be bewildered. Now I know why I go walking round in a wonderful glow. There's a lot. Here am I riding high on a hill, far away from the usual road, with a world of my own at my feet. All because fate was heavenly sweet. And of that we meet. Ever dreamed in my wildest dream that I'd fall quite so wholeheartedly. Now I know love is hard, that it's cracked up to be.
Well, do I get to be on your show, Mr. Benny?
Well, gosh, kid, I don't know. You're a tenor.
What's wrong with that? Don't you always have tenors? Kenny Baker, Dennis Day?
Yes, and I never fail to have trouble with them about money. And then, kid, with tenors, you always have mother trouble. So tenors just seem to have mothers. I can't imagine why.
But gee, don't you think having a mother is pretty true of most people?
Yes, I suppose so. But with tenors, somehow it's worse. Tenors have mothers who look like fathers. Besides, I already have a contract with Dennis Day, an extremely fine tenor, so you can see nothing, absolutely nothing, could make me change my mind.
But for such an opportunity, Mr. Benny, I'd even be willing to work for nothing.
Please, kid, I'm not... I wonder if Dennis's mother would slug me if I broke his contract. Kid, you say you'd be willing to work for nothing?
Well, practically, I'd be willing to accept $40 a week.
$40 a week? Who do you think you are, Lawrence Tibbett? Why, Dennis only gets 35 now. He thinks he gets 186,000, you know. On the other hand, if you'd be willing to work for...
Hold on there, Benny. A fine thing, a guest of my house trying to steal my tenor. There's nothing lower than a man who'd steal a tenor, unless it's a man who'd steal a bass. I wouldn't have said that, Benny, except that the baseball season's just about to start. And have to give me that line about not talking shop.
But Groucho, I didn't approach him. He approached me.
That's right, Mr. Marks. I'm sorry, but I couldn't resist the opportunity to get on his show. Do you realize that being with Jack Benny automatically means being a great success?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, it's true. Name one person on Jack Benny's show who hasn't become a famous man.
All right. Mary Livingston. Now run along, and let's not hear any more of this.
Well, Jack Benny, I'm certainly glad to see you.
Glad to see you, Ken Niles.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Benny, I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time. Yes, sir, you need an announcer like me on your show.
You too, Niles?
Oh, quiet, Groucho. I'm talking to a radio star. You know, Jack, Don Wilson's not laughing like he used to. That booming quality, that wonderful chuckle, those real honest-to-goodness guffaws, he just doesn't have it anymore.
He doesn't?
No. Now, just try me out. I'll throw you a feed line for an old joke. Any old joke.
The way he throws himself at the man is degrading.
Let's see. Say, Jack, who's that lady I saw you with last night?
Oh, well, all right. That was no lady, Ken. That was my wife.
Isn't that wonderful? That's marvelous, isn't it?
Isn't it revolting?
Well, what do you say, Mr. Benny? Am I better than Don Wilson?
Well, I don't know. Wilson is fatter than you. He has more to laugh with.
Well, I admit Don Wilson's a lot fatter than I am, but name one thing he can do that I can't do.
Well, Wilson can take a shower without getting his feet wet. Niles, you don't want to really leave me, do you? I thought we were one big happy family here.
Yeah, but this is Jack Benny, the Jack Benny.
So I'm Groucho Marx, the Groucho Marx. So what?
That's what I say. So what?
I know how you feel, son. Sometimes I even try to forget I'm Jack Benny.
Yes, but it's such a thrill when he remembers.
Oh, Mr. Benny,
there must be a joke in here for me someplace.
You want me to help you look, Jack?
Oh, Mr. Benny, you haven't given me a chance. You haven't heard me do a commercial. Just listen.
Niles, will you get out of here and let Benny and me go back to what we were discussing?
Oh, women. Well, while you're on the subject of beautiful women, Groucho,
I defy you to make a commercial out of that one.
Don't be too sure. Did you ever stop to think that a beautiful woman is a perfect blend of lovely attributes? Her smile, her grace, her lovely face, and so forth.
There he goes with that magic word, blend.
It is a magic word, Groucho, especially when it comes to beer. You see, skillful blending of a number of different brews brings a smoothness and mellowness to beer that you just can't get any other way. Pabst, you know, is full flavor blended from no fewer than 33 fine brews. That's why a glass of Pabst is like an old friend. Its welcoming flavor is always the same, always delightful. Remember, there's a century of brewing skill in every delicious drop of Pabst Blue Ribbon. A 100-year tradition of hospitality in every sparkling glass. So, order it with confidence. Serve it with pride. For no matter where you go, there is no finer beer, no finer blend than Pabst Blue Ribbon. Well, there it is, Mr. Benny. Think it over. I'll be waiting for your answer. Toodle-doo.
Shall we dance? Fine, happy family I've got. That's the second trader who wants to desert me.
Yes, and a fine rest I'm having away from radio. I had to come back for that line, you know.
Oh, Groucho.
Hello, Faye. I'd like
Oh,
to...
you don't have to introduce him. Anybody'd know this is Jack Benny.
Oh, I guess I am rather easy to recognize.
Oh, yes, I've seen you in pictures, and I could tell it was you by your kind eyes, your strong, manly jaw, your big, brawny arms rippling with muscles.
Would you mind saying that a little softer, please?
Softer? Why?
My draft board is listening in.
Oh, Mr. Benny, you do have such a nice physique, such a trim, fit waistline.
Well, I... Groucho Marx, you snapped me again.
There's never a shortage of rubber around Benny.
You know, you're quite attractive, Miss Mackenzie.
Oh, thanks, but don't call me Miss Mackenzie. You can call me Faye.
I can?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, you can call me Jaxie Poo.
And you can call me when my stomach returns to normal.
You know,
in about 3 months.
You know, Faye, now that I've met you, I'm going to hate leaving Blue Ribbon Town. Too bad you don't live in Hollywood. We could see more of each other.
Well, Jackie Pooh, I'd love to live in Hollywood if I thought I could find a job there.
Well, Faye Pooh, I'm a rather important man in Hollywood. I could probably line up some sort of a position for you.
Oh, Pooh, how wonderful. I know I'll be very happy working on your show.
Pooh? Was that Pooh or Pew? P-O-O. Well, Miss Mackenzie, I did not offer you a job on my show. I came here to forget my show.
Oh, but Jackie Pooh, how can you forget your show? A great comedian like you. Why, as far as I'm concerned, you're the grand old man of radio.
Don't let my gray hair fool you. I'm just breaking it in for a silver fox. Hey, I'm really not old. It's just that I began my career so young, 30 years ago. Well, I was just a knee pan.
Yes, and he looked awfully funny. A grown man of 25 running around a knee panty poo. Excuse me while I answer the phone. Jack, excuse me while I answer the phone.
That never happens on my show.
Everything happens on our show. Hello? No, goodbye.
Who was that, Groucho?
It was the wrong number. That's never happened on any other show before either.
Hiya, Marcy. Hiya, Mr. B. Say, I've been listening to your programs lots of times, and I think it's great.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed, Mr. G, but I don't care to discuss.
There's one thing wrong, howsoever. That guy, Phil Harris, detracts from the refinement and culture of the program.
You really think so?
There ain't a participle of a doubt. And believe me, the lack of culture is a terrible curse that should be visited on no man.
You're absolutely right, Gorsey Pooh. So please stop visiting me.
Not only is Phil Harris ignorant, but he also has a terrible vocal ferry. The guy knows nothing about nothing, especially grammar. Not only can't he conjugate conjugation, but he can't even subjunct subjunction. Boy, what a soliloquy. See, what you should do, Benny, is get someone to take Harris's place. Someone who's got class, refinement, and education. In other words, me.
That's more than I had on the whole program.
I'll tell you,
listening to you, Gorsey, Phil Harris sounds like Anthony Eden.
Well, I know my speech ain't so hot, but my writing is very audible. Why not, Benny? I'll see you later.
Some happy family I've got, Jack. Everybody has tried to lead me to your radio show.
Yes, in fact, Rochester's was the only job that nobody wanted.
Yeah, some happy family, all right. What loyalty. They don't even know the meaning of the word. loyalty, faith. Semper Fidelis is discouraging.
Oh, come, Groucho. Chin up. Carry on.
No, Jack. Without the loyalty, without the faith of those one holds dear, life becomes nothing but a hollow mockery, a sham. A mere existence, hardly worth continuing.
I wouldn't try so hard, Groucho. It's too late for the Academy Award.
He jests at scars that never felt a wound.
Oh, I know you're hurt, Groucho, but after all...
You're a good friend, Jack, but don't try to soften the blow. I'm disappointed in my so-called friend. Wanted to leave me to go with your show. It hurts, Jack. It hurts here. Now it hurts there, too.
There, Groucho, don't take it so hard.
I can't help it, Jack. There's only one thing left for me to do now.
What's that?
Mr. Benny, how about you all let me take Rochester's place?
Mr. Benny, if you want to hear how I deliver an important message on the show, just grab an earful of this. Neighbors, income taxes are vital to the support of our government. Right now, I'd like to let everybody in on a message I have here from Uncle Sam. He considers the prompt filing of income tax returns so important this year that he's asking everybody to find out what they owe him just as soon as possible. Don't wait until the March 15th deadline. Find out where you stand. You may owe more or less than you think. Get straightened out early. If you haven't received forms, write the office of your local collector of internal revenue immediately for forms and information. You can find out his address at your nearest bank or post office. If you need help with filing your returns, you can get it free of charge at the same office. But ask for it in time to avoid the rush. Remember, file early. It's more important this year than ever before.
Well, Groucho, it's time for me to leave. I want to thank you for your hospitality.
It was nice having you, Jack. Thanks for coming down. You must visit me again sometime.
I'll be glad to. By the way, who's your guest next week?
Everett Horton. He's having trouble with his income tax, and he wants me to help him figure it out.
Groucho, I didn't know you were good at that sort of thing. Do you really know how to fill out those income tax
forms?
forms?
Oh, yes. In fact, I helped Dorothy Lamour with her income tax last year, and you know how well her form is filled out.
Well, good night, Groucho. Now, wait a minute, fellas. Get this very clever line they gave me to end the program with. Oh, this will be a scream. Wait till you hear this. Good night, Groucho. I'll be listening next week.
I suppose you think mine is any better, huh? Listen to the one they gave me. So long, Jack Benny. Thanks again. Good night, neighbors.
Remember, if you want the real lowdown on how to laugh off your income tax, don't forget to listen to Groucho Marx telling Everett Horton all about it next Saturday. All the rest of our regulars will be on hand, so join in the fun and come on down. This program is directed by Dick Mack and is brought to you by the Pabst Brewing Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin and Peoria, Illinois. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Day.
Every song I sing, I'll sing to you, and I hope I can bring you a smile or two.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Palmolive Soap and Palmolive Shave Creams. Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Palmolive Shave Creams for a smoother, more comfortable way to shave. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, B. Benaderet, Dink Trout, Charles Dant in the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing Gal in Galveston.
I got a gal in Galveston. Got a real true gal in Galveston. Oh, her hair is golden sun and much brighter than a Texas sun. I'm going back to my gal in Galveston. I'm going back to the purple sage and stay forevermore. Going back to the prairie and the one that I adore. I got a gal in Galveston. lucky me and my gal in Galveston. I'm going back to the purple stage and stay forevermore. Going back to the prairie and the one that I adore. I got a gal in Galveston. How I love that gal in Galveston. I keep thinking of the time when those happy wedding bells will chime for lucky me and my gal in Galveston.
Men, if you like oceans of rich, thick, moisture-soaked lather, try the new, different Palmolive Lather Way to Shave. A way that means smoother, more comfortable shaves for 3 men out of every 4.
Yes, the new Palmolive Lather Shave Cream Way brings smoother, more comfortable shaves to 3 men out of every 4.
It's a fact, men, not a promise. 1,251 men tried the new Palmolive Lather Way to Shave. And no matter how they shaved before, 81% reported beards easier to cut. 76% said less razor pull. 71% said closer shaves. 80% smoother feeling skin.
And 3 men out of every 4 reported smoother, more comfortable shaves. The Palmolive Lather Shave Cream Way.
Here's all you do. Wash your face with soap and water. Rinse. Soap your face thoroughly again. Do not rinse. Brush Palmolive Lather upward into beard to get the full benefit of Palmolive Lather Shave Cream's beard conditioning effect. Then shave.
That's all. But you be the judge. Get Palmolive Lather Shave Cream and try the new, different Palmolive Lather Way to Shave. Remember, it's proved. Proved to give smoother, more comfortable shaves to 3 men out of every 4.
Well, this will be a busy week indeed at Little Weaverville University, for not only are the students taking their midterm exams, but it's also homecoming week for the alumni. Now, it was at Weaverville U that Herbert Anderson met his wife, yet somehow he's always loved the old school anyway. And he'll be an enthusiastic attendant at the alumni reunion. But his wife, well, there seems to be some sort of mystery concerning Mrs. Anderson's college career, some deep, sinister secret known only to the Anderson family circle, and one which our curious young hero, Dennis Day, is now trying to worm out of his girlfriend, Mildred.
But gosh, Mildred, surely you can tell me. Why, I'm practically one of the family.
Oh, no, Dennis, I just couldn't. It's Mother's secret, and you might be horrified.
Mildred, I've known your mother for years. How much more horrified could I get?
Well, if I tell you, will you promise me you'll carry it to your grave?
First chance I get.
I mean, will you promise not to tell anyone, silly?
Oh, sure, Mildred. You can trust me.
Well, all right, then. You see, Mother never graduated from Weaverville U. Just before graduation day, she was kicked out of school.
No.
Yes. It's been a sore spot with her to this day.
Really? It must have been some kick.
Dennis, it doesn't happen to be a joking matter.
Oh, I know, Mildred, but why did they expel her? Tell me, what did she do?
Well, I guess it sounds silly now, but it was terrible in those days. There was a strict rule against girls smoking, and they caught Mother in one of the dormitories with a lighted cigarette in her mouth.
And they figured she might be smoking it, huh?
Yes. They barred her from the graduation exercises, and the Alumni Association said that she could never attend homecoming week with that black mark on her record.
She, just for smoking a cigarette, huh?
She's never been able to look at one since. And during homecoming week, just the mention of the word cigarette, and she goes crazy.
Oh, so that's why she's been so quiet today.
Well, she won't even talk to me. I don't know why.
Well, maybe because you're so round, so firm, so full.
Dennis!
It was just a thought.
Well, forget it. Just remember, when Mother's around, not a word about cigarettes. Concentrate on what you mustn't say and don't think of anything else.
Oh, don't worry, I will. I'll keep my mind on nothing but...
Oh, hi, Mother.
Good morning, Mildred. Dennis.
Good morning, Mrs. Cigarette. I mean, Mrs. Anderson.
What did you say, Dennis Day?
Oh, nothing. I just caught myself in the nicotine. I mean,
Mildred, what have you been telling this for?
Why, nothing at all, Mother.
No?
No, Raleigh. I mean, really. Rolly.
Now, Mrs. Anderson, please, keep cool. Oh, I did it again.
So, Mildred Anderson, you did tell him.
Well, golly, Mother, why not? It isn't as though you've done anything really terrible.
Oh, no.
Dennis, you're right. Why should I have to go through this humiliation every homecoming week? As a matter of fact, it's high time I did something about it.
But what, Mother?
I'm going down to that college today and see Dean Sheridan personally and make him change my record.
That's the spirit, Mrs. Anderson.
After all, barring me from the reunion just because I was once caught smoking, it's ridiculous. Things are different now. Times have changed since I went to college.
Sure they have. Now they've got electricity and telephones and stuff.
Never mind. Come along, Mildred. You can drive me down there right now. Oh, hello, Herbert.
Hi, Twinkle Nose.
Come on, Mildred. We'll see you later, Herbert.
Gracious me, where did they racing off to in such a hurry?
Oh, your wife's going over to the college to see if they won't do something about her records.
Oh, then you've heard, huh?
Yeah.
Poor soul. For over 20 years, she's been known as Q-Beb Clara.
Well, I sure hope she gets it straightened out in time for the reunion.
Well, Dennis, would you like to see me happy, too, at this year's reunion?
Why, sure, Mr. Anderson. Why do you ask?
Well, every year during homecoming week, they have a Father and Son Day. And naturally, I always have to miss it. You see, Dennis, Mildred is a girl.
Oh, yes, sir. I knew that before we became engaged.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is I wish I had a son. And that's why I got to thinking maybe I'd talk to you.
Well, gosh, don't you think you get a lot further talking to Mrs. Anderson?
No, Dennis. I just want you to pretend that you're my son for the father and son dinner tonight.
Oh, now I see.
Well, it's about time. Would you do it for me?
Well, sure, Mr. Anderson, but won't some of your classmates remember that you haven't had a son up till now?
Well, I'll tell them my wife keeps things from me.
Huh?
Well, now don't you worry. Nobody's going to ask any questions. All you have to do is meet me over at the college in room 308 at 5:30.
Oh, sure, I'll be there.
You won't forget now. Room 308 at 5:30.
Oh, I got it.
Hadn't you better write it down?
What for? Anybody who couldn't remember a simple thing like that would have to be a dope.
Okay. I'll meet you there. So long.
Write it down. What do you think I am? Gee, maybe I better write it down. Let's see. Room 805 at 3:30.
Hello, Professor Wilson. Professor Carter in 805. Say, what's wrong? Don't the students know I'm to give them the oral part of the intelligence test before they can take the written? Well, why wasn't it on the bulletin board? Oh, my goodness, it's 3:30, and so far I've had less than a dozen students. It's really...
Hello.
Oh, here's another one now. Yeah, but please, Professor, see that it's put on the board immediately. Yes, all right. Goodbye. All right, young man, have a seat.
Oh, no, thanks. I'm just waiting for...
I said have a seat. I haven't got all day, you know.
But all I...
Young man, suppose you just keep your mouth shut and give me your name.
It won't come out very clear that way.
I don't care how it comes out. Give me your name.
Dennis Day, what's yours?
Mine is irrelevant.
Oh, glad to know you.
Young man, don't you like our little college? Would you like to leave it?
Oh, no, sir. I'm supposed to...
All right, and all you have to do is answer a few simple questions. Now, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Colts are to mares as calves are to pigs, cows, or chickens.
They are?
And Mr. Day, the question is, colts are to mares as calves are to pigs, cows, or chickens. You're supposed to answer which?
Yes, sir.
And now, colts are to mares as calves are to pigs, cows, or chickens.
Which?
You know something? You're beginning to fascinate me.
Really?
Yes. What class are you a member of?
The unemployed.
Well, good for our economy. But I was speaking of a different type of class. I meant, are you a junior, for instance?
Oh, no, my father's name is Pat.
I wouldn't be in his shoes for anything in the world. But I'm afraid I simply must have an answer to my question. You know the little calves?
Yes, sir.
So once again, colts are to mares as calves are to... wait, I'll give you a little hint. What has 4 legs and carries a sort of bag?
2 red caps.
That is absolutely correct. Shall we go to the next question?
Do we have to?
No, I was convinced long ago, but let's... Now, this series of questions is known as opposites. I'm going to give you a word, and you're to give me the word that means its exact opposite. See?
Land.
That wasn't the word, but strangely enough, you seem to understand what I mean.
Oh, sure.
You know, I'm sort of disappointed in a way. All right. Heavy.
Light.
Rough.
Smooth.
Mail.
Telegram.
You've come back to me.
Huh?
Young man, forgive me, but how did you ever manage to enroll in this college in the first place?
Oh, I'm not enrolled here.
What?
I just came to meet a friend for the father and son dinner tonight.
You mean you didn't come in to take the intelligence test? You're not a student here?
Oh, no, sir.
Well, bless my soul, you've just restored my faith in our educational system. But you must be in the wrong... Excuse me. Hello? Oh, yes, Professor Wilson. I have a copy of the written examination. Yes, it's all filled out with the correct answers so they can use it to check the papers. But I can't possibly leave my office now, Professor. The students will be taking the oral and... Oh. Yes, all right, I will. Young man, would you run an errand for me?
Oh, sure, Professor.
Well, the undergraduates are now taking the written part of the examination in the main auditorium. Could you walk through without disturbing the student body?
Oh, sure, I'll just step right over it.
Yes, do. We want it looking its best for the funeral. Then go to the small office in the rear and hand this paper to Dean Sheridan, who is conducting the examination.
You bet.
Now, you're sure you can handle it all right?
Oh, gosh, a child of 6 could do that.
I know, so concentrate on it like mad, will you?
Pardon me, Dean Sheridan?
Yes?
Well, here you are, Dean. This paper was...
Good heavens, son, how did you get it done in such a hurry?
Huh?
You realize it takes the average student almost 5 hours? How did you do it so fast?
I slid down the banister.
That's supposed to be a joke? Here, where's your name on this examination? You didn't sign it.
You mean you want me to put my name on it? That's a funny request.
I don't think it's irrelevant.
No, it's Day. He's upstairs.
Just hurry up and sign that paper, will you? I can't wait to look at it.
Yes, sir.
That's strange. The first 2 answers are correct.
Oh, sure. Well, I'll be seeing you, Dean. Goodbye now.
How could a boy like that get 2 successive questions right? That's funny. The third one's right, too. And the 4th. And the 5th. Good heavens, can it be? Yes. Yes, they're all right. Every one. It's a miracle. The greatest brain in the entire world. That moron is a genius.
We'll continue this day in the life of Dennis Day in just a moment. But first, here's Dennis to sing Senorita.
I offer you the moon, set in a summer sky, that is mine to give, Senorita. I offer you the breeze, singing a lullaby, that is mine to give, Senorita. I can't bring a golden crown set with pearls and rubies rare, come from up above. I give them and my love to you.
Well, our young hero doesn't know it, but he's been acclaimed a genius by the dean of a university, due to a mistake, of course. We find him now on the campus where he's just run into Mrs. Anderson, who is at the college because of a problem of her own.
Well, any luck, Mrs. Anderson? Did you get the dean to change your record?
No, he refuses even to listen to me.
Gosh, there must be some way. Why didn't you tell him your career's in jeopardy? Tell him you're a bubble dancer and you can't get a job because the public knows you were once caught smoking.
Are you crazy, Dennis Day? And anyway, who'd ever take me for a bubble dancer?
Well, couldn't you say one of them exploded in your face?
Dennis, do me a favor, will you? Keep off my side.
Oh, no, you're not. I'm going to go to the dean myself. I'm going to tell him that I'm a member of your family.
Well, that'll get me some sympathy anyway.
I'll hand him a sob story. I'll tell him on account of that black mark on your record you've never been able to find honest work, that to support your children you've had to hold up gas stations and pick pockets.
Dennis.
And because nobody would give you a job, you got desperate.
Dennis.
You held up a bank. The cashier put up a fight. You pulled your gun.
Dennis.
What is it, you murderess?
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got carried away.
Now there's an idea.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Anderson. You just leave everything to me.
I tell you, he's got to be found, Chancellor. That boy is the greatest living genius in the world today. Scour the campus. I have a reporter waiting here right now to interview him. Do you realize what a thing like this can do for our university? Why, we're at... I'll call you back, Chancellor. Meanwhile, redouble your efforts. Come in.
Oh, excuse me, Dean, but I just...
It's you! I've found you. I've found you at last.
I've been lost.
Of course. Do you realize you're a genius, my boy? The most magnificent mental specimen in the entire world.
Who, me?
Certainly. We want you on our staff. Biochemistry, electronics, any department you care to take over.
Who, me?
Well, of course. Say the word and we'll get you a cyclotron.
Oh, that's not necessary. I live right on the bus line.
Sense of humor, too. My boy, this is the greatest day in the history of Weaverville University. I hope you don't mind, but I've taken the liberty of sending for a reporter to interview you.
To interview me?
Why, certainly. You belong to the ages now, my son. Oh, right this way, Mr. Jenkins.
Thank you, Dean. Well, so this is the greatest brain in the world today.
Yeah.
Tell me, Mr. Day, when did you first notice that you were different from other children your age?
Oh, I guess it was when I was in the 3rd grade.
Really?
Yeah, the other kids my age were in the 6th grade.
Now that's what I call modesty.
Isn't he refreshing?
Oh, he certainly is. Now, a few general questions, sir. Tell me, what do you think about the chances for world peace?
The only thing that can stop it is war.
Did you hear that, Dean?
So beautifully simple, yet so fraught with meaning.
Yes. How do you feel about the high cost of living, Mr. Day?
Oh, I've decided to go on doing it no matter how high the cost gets.
How about that, Jenkins? Is that a marvelous commentary on the futility of modern life?
Superb. Tell me, Mr. Day, what have you to say on the subject of China?
Well, it's pretty full of Chinamen, all right.
Get it, Jenkins? Catch the hidden meanings in that simple phrase?
The most brilliant statement I've ever listened to. Now, one last question, Mr. Day. Do you think mankind has made any real progress during the past 2,000 years?
Well, yes and no.
Bravo!
Magnificent!
I thought that would get you.
Oh, I don't know how to thank you for this interview, sir. My editor won't be able to believe his eyes when he sees what I've written.
Oh, that's okay. It was no trouble at all.
Oh, thank you, sir. Good day.
I don't blame him for being stunned. Well, now, let's talk about our plans, my boy. how would you like to head up our physics research lab, huh?
Your physics research lab?
Yes. I mean, to see if you can't develop some practical demonstration of Einstein's theory. Naturally, you understand it perfectly.
Oh, sure. Sam told me all about it himself.
Sam?
Yeah, Sam Einstein, the tailor. His theory is no credit.
I don't believe
Dean, but I did want to... Oh, are you back?
Professor Carter, you know this young man?
Oh, yes. I had the astonishment of meeting him this morning.
Hello.
Well, 2 red caps to you.
I have wonderful news, Professor. Starting today, this boy's brain will be at the disposal of our very own Weaverville University.
Well, bully. Which jar will we keep it in?
Professor, this is hardly the time for levity. You are standing in the presence of the greatest mind ever developed.
Yeah.
Dean, have you been browsing around among the specimens in alcohol again? This the greatest mind ever developed?
Of course.
Are you mad? Just let me ask this boy a simple question, and you'll see what I mean. Mr. Day, what is your IQ?
My what?
Your IQ.
Look, I'm no child. You don't have to spell it out. Say it.
I rest my case.
But this is impossible. He turned in a written intelligence test that was 100% correct.
What? Well, that was the answer sheet. I sent him over with it.
Good heavens.
Oh, my gosh, so that's why you thought...
Of course.
Gee, that interview. What are we going to do?
I'll tell you what we're going to do. Professor Carter?
Yes?
Remember back in 1927 when you played left halfback for us against Pismo Beach Normal? And you kicked a field goal from the 50-yard line?
I do.
Well, there stands your football. Encore!
Why, that's the most fantastic story I've ever heard.
Yeah, boy, was that Dean mad.
I knew it was ridiculous to send you to him. Now I've still got that black mark on my record for smoking a cigarette.
Oh, that's where you're wrong, Mrs. Anderson. I told the dean that unless he let me at those records, I'd spread it all over town how I made a fool of him.
Why, Dennis, that's blackmail. Oh, you sweet criminal, you. Then did you change my record?
Sure. The name after yours was Mary Appleby. I tore her name off and put it on your file and then did the same thing with hers. Now you've got her record and she's got yours.
Dennis Day. You...
It came out as usual?
Of course. Mary Appleby was expelled for kissing a chemistry professor in the basement.
Boy.
Dennis Day.
Oh, no, Mrs. Anderson, wait, please. You'll dent the greatest brain ever developed. Help, Mrs. Anderson!
Regardless of age, skin type, or previous beauty care, doctors prove you, too, may win a lovelier complexion with Palmolive soap.
But to win this lovelier complexion, you must stop improper cleansing. Instead, use Palmolive the way doctors advise.
36 doctors, leading skin specialists, advised using Palmolive soap this way for 1,285 women with all types of skin. Young, old, dry, oily, normal. And using Palmolive soap alone, nothing but Palmolive, 2 out of 3 won lovelier complexions. Oily skin looked less oily. Dull, drab skin wonderfully brighter. Coarse-looking skin appeared finer. Even tiny blemishes, incipient blackheads disappeared or improved. Now, here's what the doctors advised.
Wash your face with Palmolive soap 3 times a day. Massage with Palmolive's wonderful beauty lather for 60 seconds each time to get its full beautifying effect. Then rinse.
Look for improvement in your complexion within 14 days. For doctors prove this way, using Palmolive alone really works. So forget all other beauty care. Get Palmolive soap and start today to win a lovelier complexion.
For loveliness all over, use big, thrifty bath-size Palmolive in your tub or shower.
With the music of Charles Dant in the orchestra, here's Dennis to sing A Bouquet of Roses.
I'm sending you a big bouquet of roses, one for every time you broke my heart. And as the door of love between us closes, tears will fall like petals when we part. I beg you to be different, but you'll always be untrue. I'm tired of forgiving. Now there's nothing left to do. I'm sending you a big bouquet of roses, one for every time you broke my
Next week, tune into another Dennis Day Show brought to you by Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Palmolive Shave Creams for a smoother, more comfortable way to shave.
Tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Only Luster Cream brings you Kay Dumit's magic blend. Glamorizes your hair as you wash it. Yes, tonight, you can be a dream girl, beautiful Luster Cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a Luster Cream shampoo.
Listen again next week for Colgate's Hour of Fun, Judy Canova, followed by Dennis Day. And for another great comedy program, hear Blondie next Wednesday evening over your favorite NBC station. This is Vern Smith speaking. Good night.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
If you like good beer, you'll find it pays to be curious and learn about Schlitz for yourself. And now, The Halls of Ivy.
We love the halls of ivy that surround us here today, and we will not forget though we be far, far away.
Welcome again to Ivy. Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. 5 people didn't go to bed at all last night here at Ivy. Grogan, the campus policeman who was making his rounds, 2 sophomores and a freshman who were investigating certain mathematical phenomena, such as the odds against drawing to an inside straight, and Dr. William Todd Hunter Hall, the president of Ivy, who's been working at his desk in the study of his home since shortly after dinner yesterday. The chapel bell is striking 8 as his wife, the former Victoria Cromwell of the London stage, enters and says,
Good morning, Dr. Hall.
Good morning.
And congratulations. You've just set a new record for going without sleep. Any statement for the press, champ?
Yes, I'm glad to bring the cup back to Ivy, where it belongs, and I'm looking forward with great confidence to the international match in Brussels next spring.
Oh, poor darling. How do you feel?
Surprisingly well, if the ability to cope with whimsy on an empty stomach is at all indicative. Do I look awful?
Interesting, rather. One so seldom sees a chartreuse complexion.
Bad as that, eh? Well, it's worth it. One seldom sees an annual report as superb as the one I've just finished writing. Here, have a look.
Let's see. The state of the college.
Or, in the vernacular, out of the red and over the hump with Hall.
You sound enormously set up about it.
I've reason to be. I'd no idea how much I'd accomplished last year until I put it all down in black and white. The endowment fund is up, the building fund is up, enrollments are up.
And what are you doing up? Will you be working very much longer this morning?
Oh, I'm ready for bed.
Well, good. Penny will be right in with your overcoat and hat.
My overcoat and hat? Vicky, we've been married long enough for me to make a confession. I never go to bed wearing an overcoat and hat. I'm one of those odd fellows who slips between the sheets wearing only pajamas. I know I should have revealed this before, but
I told Penny to bring in our hats and coats because I'm taking you for a walk. A short walk for relaxation, a light breakfast, and then a good long sleep.
Excuse me, Mum.
Yes,
I've
Penny.
brought you things. Good morning, sir.
Oh, good morning, Penny. I'll take those. Thank you. You're looking well this morning, Penny.
Thank you very kindly, sir. And you're looking... It's a very nice morning for a walk.
You don't say.
Yes, sir. It snowed last night, the first real snow we've had this year, and it's ever so lovely. Makes one want to go out and throw snowballs at top hats.
Well, feel free to do so whenever the spirit moves you, Penny. I'm ready, Victoria. Penny, you didn't by any chance notice a snowman on our front lawn, did you?
Should I have, sir?
Well, after the first really good snowfall of the year, the students had the custom of building a snowman in front of the home of each faculty member. You've heard of that, haven't you?
No, sir.
And the more affection they have for you, the larger the snowman they build.
There ain't one on our lawn. Allow me, sir.
Why, I dare say the snow fell too late for them to have taken advantage of it last night.
Which way should we walk, Toddy? Along Faculty Row?
Yes, that'll do nicely.
Be back in half an hour, Penny. That custom the students have. It's almost cruel in a way.
Not in the least. I admit it must seem so to those members of the faculty for whom very small snowmen are built, but they survive. Professor Heaslip, for example, has survived years of snowmen not much larger than a Drosophila fruit fly.
Professor Heaslip is lucky the students built any token of affection on his lawn. If anything, his personality suggests excavation.
And the report I've just finished makes it more certain than ever he won't get my job. His carefully cultivated friendship with the chairman of the board notwithstanding. It's really a smashing report, Vicky. I raised almost $1 million in endowments, built...
Built what? What's wrong?
Look, there's a snowman in front of Professor Quincannon's house.
Oh.
Well, the snow came early enough after all.
Well, perhaps it wasn't the students, Toddy. Professor Quincannon has 2 children. They may have built it. Children build snowmen, too, you know.
Of course, that must be it. I mean, after all, there's no reason to suppose the students would build one for Quincannon and overlook me, is there? I mean, there's no reason to suppose they're antagonistic to me. I don't see why they should be. Do you?
No, of course they're not. You were telling me about your smashing report. Toddy, come on.
Oh, yes, my report. I suppose I shouldn't have said it's a smashing report. It's not really smashing, but it's a darn good one. I believe I may say, without immodesty, that I'm good at my job. After all, a college president must have ability and...
Keenness of vision?
Well, all college presidents have keen vision. A few, in fact, can even see themselves in the White House in 1952. You know, I knew a man once who...
I'm listening. Who what? What are you staring at?
A snowman in Professor Howard's front yard.
Oh, yes. Oh, I suppose Professor Howard's children must have built one, too.
Professor Howard is a bachelor.
Of course, I'd forgotten. Well, then, Professor Quincannon's children must have come over from next door. I remember when I was a child, I used to build snowmen all over the place. Couldn't get enough of them. Fairly cover the landscape and build one in front of my house and one next door and then one further down the street.
Yes, they could have come over from next door, couldn't they? Quincannon's children, I mean.
Well, of course they could.
They could have jumped over the hedge or even come around that way through the gate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not much more than 30 paces. And you know, they're very active youngsters, positively hyperthyroid.
Oh, they are.
Oh, one probably said to the other, let's build one now on old Howard's lawn.
Yes, exactly. As a matter of fact, I seem to remember having heard children shouting something like that earlier this morning. But you were telling me about your report. Your report. I want to hear more about how darn good it is.
Oh, I suppose I shouldn't have said it's a darn good report. It's not really. It's a fair report. A little more. Vicky, darling, you spend much more time with the students than I do, really. What with your coaching the junior follies and all. You haven't heard any grumbling about my administration, have you?
None, Toddy, none.
It wasn't a very tall hedge, you know. Quincanon's children could have jumped over it.
Or crashed through. I mean, they're very sturdy.
Oh, it's the most natural thing in the world.
Yes, Toddy, let's turn down this street. I'm rather tired of Faculty Row. Same old hedges, same old houses. This street seems very charming.
Really? You find that row of garbage pails charming?
Oh, well, I suppose not. Oh, dear. There's a snowman in front of Professor Warren's house, too.
The young Quincanons have had quite a busy morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Dr. Warren.
Good morning, Mrs. Hall. Out for a stroll?
Yes, we're out for a stroll.
Well, I find there's nothing like it on a morning like this for getting rid of the doldrums, don't you?
Occasionally.
We were just admiring the snowman in your front yard. It has a great deal of character.
Well, it's a pip, isn't it? I know it's not supposed to be good form for a faculty member to pay any attention to this sort of thing, but when you're 70, as I am, hypocrisy is too much of a strain. I just look at that gleaming monster and glow, Doctor. Glow.
Well, I don't blame you. And yet, the custom in some cases can be cruel, don't you think? I mean, the ones that don't get built.
Nope. It's not the custom that's cruel. It's the crushing impact of truth. Some people can't stand up under it at all. You take a president of Ivy we had in 1900, that's before your time. Bessemer was his name. 1 year, every member of the staff had a snowman except Bessemer. Old Pop Gut Bessemer. He resigned a few weeks later, for reasons of health, of course.
Oh, that seems very impulsive of him, a little drastic.
Well, Ivy's a small school and always has been. Personalities play a much bigger part than they do at some of these giant diploma factories. You wouldn't care to continue as president if you knew that students would much rather tie a can to your tail, would you, Doctor?
Well, now, that's an interesting way to put it, but, no, I suppose not.
Why, of course not. You look at it this way, Mrs. Hall. Teaching hardly ever pays off in money. The average prof makes only about $2,500 a year, and it hardly ever pays off in glory. I myself can name 10 baseball players or burlesque queens, bless them, for every teacher you can bring to mind. Well, then, what makes an old party like me, the last of the tobacco-chewing professors, or a man like your husband stay with it?
Pride in the job, I suppose.
Pride in the job. That and the feeling that maybe we're helping the young savages become not scholars, but men and women, and that they appreciate it. Take that away and what's left?
Absolute zero.
Here I am lecturing the president. Tell you, when you arrive at my age and succeed in conning people to regard you as a lovable old gaffer, you get away with murder. Care to come in for coffee?
No, thank you. We have breakfast waiting at home.
That's the wisest decision you've made today. In all the world, no one concocts as nauseating a cup of coffee as I do. I'll see you soon, I hope, ma'am.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dr. Warren.
He's a pip, isn't he? My snowman.
The very word for it, he's a pip.
Careful, don't slip on that snow.
By the way, Vicky, did I tell you I received a letter from Quesnel University this week?
I don't believe you did, Toddy. Why?
Well, they hadn't heard of the renewal of my contract as president here at Ivy, and they've made me a very flattering offer. Treasurer of the university. At almost the same salary I have here.
Toddy.
Further, and, perhaps of more importance, it's a purely administrative job. I wouldn't come into contact with students at all. Not ever.
Toddy.
They requested the courtesy of a reply this week. It's really a most flattering offer. I rather think I'll accept. Yes, I think it would be best.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
We'll return to the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman, in just a moment, as soon as we hear how a young actor got his first taste of fame.
Offhand, one would say there's scarcely a rhyme and hardly a reason for associating Shakespeare with Schlitz beer. But perhaps I better start at the beginning of my story. Our little theater group was putting on Romeo and Juliet, and I was this year's Romeo. Being handicapped by 2 left feet and an instinctive dread of high places, I don't mind telling you that climbing that balcony gave me a good deal of trouble in spite of considerable extra practice on my part. After our dress rehearsal, I still wasn't satisfied with my agility, so I decided to make a few practice climbs before calling it a night. As I reached the balcony the second time, I happened to glance down, and there below me I saw the rest of the cast gathered around drinking beer. The labels on the bottles told me it was Schlitz, and the expressions on the faces of my fellow players told me I was missing something. I knew Schlitz by reputation, but not by taste, so I climbed down from the balcony to find out what I was missing. If you could have seen me standing there in full Shakespearean costume, tasting Schlitz for the first time, you might have expected me to say something like, "'Pon my soul, what beer is this that lies so pleasantly upon the tongue?" But no, I just stood there speechless, grinning from ear to ear. The director, sensing my plight, said, "It seems that words can fail even an actor at a time like this. Let me say it for you. No wonder they call Schlitz the beer that made Milwaukee famous."
That surround us here today.
Returning to the Halls of Ivy, we find a dispirited Dr. Hall strolling in the snow along Faculty Row with Mrs. Hall.
You're very quiet, Victoria.
I know. I'm concentrating. Trying to think of the right thing to say.
Oh, you don't have to say anything, my dear. The silent eloquence of the students has left very little unsaid.
Toddy, I know how you must feel. In a small way, I've been through it a number of times in the theatre. Playing for laughter and applause and getting the rustle of programs and a few coughs. You can say to yourself, chin up and good show and carry on, all that. And over it all, you can hear the lorries backing up to the stage door to haul the scenery away.
This time they're going to haul the actor away from the scenery. And after I'd convinced myself that I'd given such a sterling performance. Smashing report, indeed.
Would it help if I tried a recital of Kipling's If? It kills them in the provinces.
It's likely to prove lethal here, too. But thank you, my dear, anyway. As organizer and sole member of the William Todd Hunter Hall fan club, you've done some noble work.
Oh, Toddy, you don't have to try and laugh it off for me. Get it out of your system, darling. Blow up.
Curse the Board of Governors. And their promise that I wouldn't have to spend my time wangling emoluments. Curse my folly in believing them. To the devil with all fat heads who kept me away from the students. Bah!
Oh, that was lovely.
No wonder they feel no affection for me. I'm so seldom with them. Not that to know me is to love me, you understand.
I understand nothing of the sort. I know you very well, and I'm mad about you.
How difficult it is to... Oh, thank you, my dear. How difficult it is to maintain contact with the student body. One college president I know scheduled a speech to the senior class for the sole purpose of proving that he actually did exist.
Oh.
And that's what's wrong with my report.
Toddy, I'm sure it's a superb report.
No, on the contrary, I omitted all reference, beyond a few statistics, to the most important part of any school, the students, and what they think about the state of Ivy. I should have found time to teach more courses. Look at Hutchins at Chicago and Conant at Harvard. The students are what make a college, not campus buildings and installations. Diogenes discoursed from a tub, and his students listened, and it was a school.
Toddy, look, talking of tubs, I see Professor Heaslip.
Where?
Through this hedge. He's just leaving his front door.
Is there a snowman on his lawn?
Yes, a very small one, which he has just made larger with 2 handfuls of snow. Oh, he heard us and stepped back.
Well, hello there. Good morning, Skipper. Good morning, fair lady.
Good morning.
Good morning, Heaslip. It's a nice snowman you have there.
Yes, it's a very nice little one.
Oh, you should have seen it before the sun came up and melted it. Amazing how quickly it went. This is the warmest part of Faculty Row, you know.
Oh, really? I found the whole area very cold.
Oh, that's a mistake, Skipper. That snowman was inches lower. I mean higher a few minutes ago. It melted down considerably. Also, the boys and girls happened to have chosen a slight dip in the ground on which to build it. Actually much taller than it looks. Optical illusion, you know. Not that I pay any attention to such things, of course.
Of course.
I'm happy the students like me as much as they do.
Of course.
I've often asked myself why. Naturally, I don't court their affection. I'm a very strict but fair pedagogue, if I say so myself. Perhaps it's the occasional humor with which I sprinkle my lectures.
For example?
Well, yesterday, I was discussing nature references in the poetry of the more eminent Victorians, one of whom referred to a dogwood tree in some lyric or other. I asked my students if they knew how to distinguish a dogwood tree, and when they said they didn't, I told them. By its bark. Well, I must be getting to class. Good morning, Skipper.
Good morning, Heaslip.
Good morning, fair lady.
Good morning.
The warmest part of Faculty Row, indeed. Ha! And yet, for the sake of that little snowman, I think I'd almost be willing to change places with Heaslip.
It'd be a little bit rough on me.
What do the boys and girls, as he calls them, see in the man? Well, it's true he has no enemies, but that's more than balanced for the fact that none of his friends like him.
Well, let's turn back, Toddy.
Oh, this is probably one of the last times we'll ever stroll along here, Victoria. It's an attractive little street, isn't it?
Yes.
I've lived here a long time.
And I've loved it here.
You see that house across the way?
Mm-hmm.
I had a furnished room there when I was an instructor. On the top floor. Kitchen privileges. Female visitors permitted only as far as the front parlor. Please turn out the light before leaving the room.
Liberty Hall, wasn't it?
Then when I was appointed assistant professor, I moved over to this side of the street. Sitting room, bedroom and bath. Hot plate permitted. No wild parties.
Oh, what exactly was a wild party at Ivy in those days?
If I remember correctly, more than 2 people laughing at the same time. But then I allowed my appointment to a full professorship to go to my head, and I rented that Charles Adams mansion over there.
Oh, it wasn't a Charles Adams mansion. It was a wonderful old place to live.
Yes, it was, wasn't it? I mean, after I brought you there. It was fairly empty when I occupied it all by myself. It echoed. Empty and unsatisfying, and nothing I did with it, new furniture, new drapes, fresh paint, seemed to propitiate the fat little gods of the hearth.
Until you offered them me as a human sacrifice, eh?
You might very well have been mistaken for a human sacrifice as I handed you down from the taxi that first morning. You were scared to death.
Yeah, I was. I'd never had a home of my own before. Just hotel rooms and flats and theater dressing rooms.
Now, here we are, driver. And this is for you. Now, this is our home, Victoria.
Oh, William. It's exactly the way I imagined it. All covered with vines and so very peaceful and quiet. And oh, look! My name's on the letterbox.
I sent a letter from England asking that it can be done.
Professor W. Hall and Mrs. Victoria Cromwell Hall. Oh, thank you, Toddy, for being such a dear love. Is it always as quiet as this?
Yes. Nearly always.
And empty. I don't see any students.
One of them has just seen you. You seem to have arrived in more ways than one. Come on, let's go inside.
Oh, please take my hand. I'm suddenly appalled at how little I know about taking care of a household.
Hang on tight, darling. I have shortcomings, too.
Promise you'll overlook mine until I've learnt my way around.
I promise. It'll be a mutual understanding. Now, what did I do with the key?
Can't you find it?
Well, I could swear I had it in my hand. I thought Oh, I do have it in my hand.
Oh, you're as nervous as I am, really, aren't you? I'm so glad. I keep on forgetting you're new at this, too.
There. No, wait.
What?
Wait. There's a little ceremony involved here, a very nice one. I'll carry you across the threshold, like this.
Oh, Toddy, look, a snowman.
A snowman? What's a snowman doing in our hallway?
Don't you see it? The students must have come while we were out walking.
Yeah, but they've no right to build one inside the house. And where did they get the snow in May?
Oh, Toddy, it's a snowman, and it isn't May, it's February.
Yes, I know, but...
From wherever you were, dear, come back. You have a snowman.
Yes, but I mean...
and it's the most enormous snowman you've ever seen. Right over there.
Oh! Yes, why, it is a snowman. In our front yard. Vicky, This is our house, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is. Oh, Toddy, you're always losing yourself in your thoughts.
Well, not completely, my darling, because you're always with me. But I don't understand this
Look,
snowman.
There's to be a note attached to it. Yes, it's addressed to you. Here, so what does it say?
Oh, one moment. To President Hall, the delay in construction is entirely your fault. If you must work nights, please do so in one of the back rooms and avoid those overlooking the front of the house. In that way, the traditional anonymity of the They misspelt anonymity. The traditional anonymity of the builders will be preserved. Affectionately, classes of 50 to 53 inclusive. Well, now. Of course, it was probably a good bit larger when they first put it up. After all, this is the warmest part of Faculty Row, you know.
Yeah, I know. Could you stand a bit of breakfast and some sleep now?
Breakfast by all means, but no sleep as yet. Remember, I have the report to get out.
Another report?
The same one, but better. Far better and a great deal more inclusive. Directly after breakfast, I shall want to see the presidents of every class in my study. Yes, and the officers of all student organizations, too.
All at once in your little study?
Oh, we'll get them in, my dear. We'll get them in. Look at that snowman. It's good packing today.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
And now, here again is Mr. Ronald Coleman.
The campaign to fight heart disease, this country's leading cause of death, is now underway. Diseases of the heart and blood vessels take an annual toll of more than 600,000 men, women, and children. A staggering number indeed. This dreaded menace accounts for 1 death out of every 3. A greater toll of lives than the next 5 causes of death combined. This year, give generously in support of this wonderful cause. Send your contributions to Heart, care of your local post office. Open your heart. Give to fight heart disease. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
We'll be seeing you next week at this time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. The other players were Alan Reed, Gloria Gordon, and Arthur Q. Bryan. Tonight's script was written by Walter Brown Newman and Don Quinn. Our music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. The Halls of Ivy was created by Don Quinn and directed by Nat Wolf. From the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company and the Halls of Ivy, our heartiest congratulations to station WTIC in Hartford, Connecticut, on this, their 25th anniversary. Ken Carpenter speaking.
That surround us here today, and we will not forget, though we be far, far
Next, hear We the People over most of these same NBC stations.
Colgate Tooth Powder presents the Mel Blanc Show, written by Mac Benoff, with Mary Jane Croft, Joe Kearns, Hans Connery, Jim Backus, the Sportsman, Victor Miller and his orchestra, and starring the creator of the voice of Bugs Bunny.
What's up, Doc?
Yes, Colgate Tooth Powder for a breath that's sweet and teeth that sparkle brings you the Mel Blanc Show, with Mel playing his new character, Zuki.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hi.
And starring himself in person, Mel Blanc.
Hi, folks. Ugga, ugga, boo, ugga, boo, boo, ugga.
Colgate Tooth Powder, keep smiling just right. Use it each morning and use it each night. It cleans your teeth, makes breath so sweet. Use Colgate Tooth Powder.
Want teeth that sparkle and dazzle, a breath that's fresh and sweet? Then try Colgate Tooth Powder, for the new all-purpose Colgate Tooth Powder cleans your teeth and sweetens your breath. Yes, this new all-purpose tooth powder produces an amazingly rich, active foam that's marvelously effective. Every time you brush your teeth with this new all-purpose Colgate Tooth Powder, your whole mouth feels clean, sweet, fresh. Your teeth regain their natural sparkle. It's been proved in 7 cases out of 10 that Colgate Tooth Powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. And as for cleaning, you can depend on Colgate Tooth Powder revealing the natural brilliance of your teeth. Yes, Colgate Tooth Powder, the new all-purpose tooth powder, does everything you can expect or ask of a dentifrice. Try Colgate Tooth Powder today for teeth that sparkle and a breath that's sweet.
Use Colgate Tooth Powder.
June is the month of graduations. New graduates, wondering what kind of jobs they're going to get, are eager to get out of school. Old graduates who have the jobs are wondering how they can get back into school. Unable to do so, the old grads content themselves by looking at their old yearbooks. In Mel Blanc's little town, we find Tom Jones and Shirley Brown looking at Tom's yearbook, and Shirley is saying,
Tom, why are you looking so surprised in this graduating picture?
Well, I had just been informed by the dean that I received the highest marks of the class.
And Dorothy Lenahan says to her boyfriend,
Oh, Bill, why do you look so surprised in this graduating picture?
I was just given a scholarship to Cornell.
And in Mel Blanc's Fix-It shop, where Betty Colby is proudly looking at a picture of Mel Blanc sitting on the library steps in his cap and gown, Betty is saying,
Mel, why do you look so surprised in this graduating picture?
I had a hole in my pants and those steps were cold.
So they continued turning the pages in the yearbook until Betty said,
Mel, look at that picture of the freshman class. Who's that funny-looking anemic kid with the stupid face and the buck teeth?
That's me.
Oh, guys, those were the good old days. The 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic.
There should be 4 R's.
4 R's?
Yeah, reading, writing, arithmetic, and a raise for the teachers. Betty, look at the picture of this fellow. Remember him, Bernie Henderson? He always used to throw spitballs. Never did anything but throw spitballs.
Did he ever amount to anything?
I'll say he did. He's the guy who invented moisturized cigarettes. And this fellow on the left, Joe Hansen, he was a monitor. He used to shout and make everybody stand up. If anyone came in a second late, he'd slam the door in their face.
Oh, what's he doing now?
He's driving a bus in Los Angeles. And there's Sam Long, the class dunce. He used to think he was a chicken.
That's odd. You ever hear from him?
No, but every once in a while he sends me a half a dozen eggs. Matter of fact, I called him up the other day to thank him.
Oh, what'd he say? Well, Mel, you weren't much of a student, were you?
What? Why, Professor Baker said I had a wonderful head for science. Well, they even wanted me at Harvard.
Oh? Why didn't you go?
I told you, they didn't want me, they just wanted my head.
Mel, what's that little poem under your picture in the yearbook?
Oh, my teacher wrote it in. Listen. To Mel Blanc, you'll become a great success. You'll have power and be strong. You'll have $1 million. You should live so long. Oh, Betty, look, here comes your father.
Oh, hello, Betty.
Hello, Father.
Hello, Mr. Colby. Say, you're looking very happy today.
Yes, today's a big day for me. The principal of Monroe High School has asked me personally to secure the speaker for the graduation ceremonies. And I've been fortunate enough to obtain the famous Chinese philosopher, Dr. Tao.
Oh, gosh, that's wonderful, Mr. Colby. It just shows that through perseverance and clean living, a humble education, a man can stand and fight for the better things in life and bring an entire nation to realize right from wrong.
Why, Mel, that's beautiful. Where did you hear it?
On the Lone Ranger.
Well, never mind. Who knows how the school will reward me? Why, it's possible they may give me an honorary degree. Why, they may even go so far as to dedicate a room to me.
Gosh, what an honor. Every time the students wash their hands, they'll see your name.
What? You know, you young people of today are too impertinent. Why, in my day, it was like in Lincoln's time. We appreciated more things. We used to walk 12 miles to school and 12 miles back.
Yeah, and I can just see the graduation. Instead of a diploma, they give you a box of Dr. Scholl's foot pads.
No. I can't waste any time with you. Dr. Tao is arriving at the station. I've got to meet him. Holy smoke, it's 4:30. I've wasted so much time with you, I won't be able to make it. And there'll be nobody to meet him.
Well, Mr. Colby, don't worry. My assistant, Zuki, is helping out a friend who's sick. He's working at the station as a train announcer. I'll call Zuki up and tell him to meet the doctor.
That's wonderful, Mel. Thanks.
Oh, you see, Mr. Colby, I always come through when you need me. Give me that phone. It's train leaving on tracks. It's train leaving on track 5. It's train leaving on never mind, the train left. Gee, Mel asked me to meet Dr. Tao. I wonder... Oh, there he is. Oh, Dr. Tao.
How do you do? Did you call me, young man?
Yeah, I represent Monroe High School. Dr. Tao, I'm here to extend formal Dr. Tao, I'm here to Dr. Tao, I'm here to Dr. Tao, what's up, Doc?
Rather clever. Are you going to take me to the high school?
Oh, sure. I got a private limousine. I'll call a taxi. I'll get the mayor's car. I'll hop in that push cart. I'll push you.
Young man, do you realize I am a doctor of philosophy?
Oh, I'm sorry. Then you push me.
Why, this is an outrage. You can tell Mr. Colby I've been highly insulted. I'm getting right back on this train and leaving. Good day.
Oh, yeah, but Doctor, you can't go. Gosh, Mr. Colby will break every bone and Mel's every bone, bon voyage. That's odd. Zuki isn't back with Dr. Tao. I wonder if anything happened. Oh, here comes that conceited Beau Brummel, Hartley Benson. Hello, Hartley. Gee, the sun is sure bright today.
Mel, that's merely thousands of women shining with radiance because they've just seen great big, adorable me. I'm such a beautiful bundle of bliss, I could give myself a great big kiss.
Hartley Benson, why are you so conceited?
Mel, the girls make me so. In a recent survey taken among the graduates of Vassar for the sport that they like the best, 10% chose swimming, 12% said canoeing, and 78% said Hartley Bensoning.
Hartley Bensoning? What's that?
It's like night baseball, only it's played with the lights out. Bill, when I went to college, I was the center of attraction.
Oh, I don't believe you ever went to college, Hartley.
Oh, no. Mel, you should have seen me at my graduation. All the graduates wore their finest clothes, but all eyes were on me.
What were you wearing?
My midriff cap and gown. I was such an outstanding student, they awarded me an LLD.
An LLD?
Yes. Lovely, luscious, and divine. This year I went back to my alma mater to make a speech to all the girl graduates. In 5 words, I gave those girls the key to complete and lasting happiness.
What were the words?
Webster 9890.
What's that?
That is my phone number. Then I gave those girls their diplomas, and they looked so surprised.
Oh, naturally. It was the first time anyone ever got a sheepskin from a jackass.
I know, Mel. If you're going to take that... Makes me very happy to tell you that I was at the station, and I saw Zuki make such a fool of himself that Dr. Tao isn't going to appear at the graduation exercises.
What?
Yes, he got back on the train and left. And I'm leaving, too. Goodbye, you buffoon. I'm so lovable and grand, tomorrow I'm asking myself for my hand. So long, Mel. Nice seeing me.
He's the only one I know who has 2 telephones in his house, so he can call himself up and ask for a date. Gosh, I'm in terrible trouble. When Mr. Colby finds out that Dr. Tao isn't showing up, he'll take my head and twist it around backwards. Gee, that's not so bad. Now I'll be able to see where I'm coming from.
Use Colgate tooth powder, keep smiling just right. Use it each morning and use it each night. It cleans your teeth, makes breath so sweet. Use Colgate tooth powder.
Teeth that sparkle, a breath that's fresh. Yes, Colgate tooth powder, the all-purpose Colgate tooth powder, cleans your teeth and sweetens your breath. Colgate tooth powder creates a rich, lively, pleasant-tasting foam that really cleans. Your whole mouth feels fresh and sweet. It's been proved in 7 cases out of 10, Colgate tooth powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. And when it comes to cleaning your teeth, this all-purpose Colgate tooth powder gives dazzling results, reveals the natural brilliance of your teeth. Colgate tooth powder does everything a dentifrice should do. That's why it's an all-purpose tooth powder. Use Colgate tooth powder for teeth that sparkle and a breath that's sweet.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
Well, back to Mel Blanc, who is behind the proverbial 8-ball again, where he almost always resides as a permanent tenant. It seems that Mr. Colby expected an honorary degree because he had obtained the services of the Chinese philosopher Dr. Tao for the high school graduation exercises. But Mel's interference through his assistant Zuki caused Dr. Tao to cancel his speaking engagement. Now we find Mel in his fix-it shop a little worried.
Gosh, if that's Mr. Colby and he finds I'm here, he'll kill me.
Hello, Mel Blanc, fix the job. You bend it, we mend it. Who's this, please? Oh, Mr. Colby? Oh, I'm so sorry. Mel Blanc just left town. Oh, where did he go? Holland. Well, they got a leak in the dike, and he's got the only thumb that fits. Goodbye, off smorgasbord.
Gosh, he sounded angry. If he catches me, I'll be smorgasbord. Oh, here comes my lodge president, Mr. Cushing. Maybe he'll be able to help me out.
Hello, Mel.
Greetings, mighty potentate. How's your little helpmate? Mel, when you're married to a woman like my wife, the word is help. She's got a new thing now, Mel. Before she goes to bed, she puts an ice pack on her head and rubs her face with alcohol. I tell you, Mel, it's like sleeping next to a Mickey Finn. Last night, she came over and kissed me. You want to know something, Mel?
Yeah?
I wish it were a Mickey Finn. What a woman. Last night, we had an argument. She said to me,
John, if I hear another word, I'll die.
Well, what do you do?
Turned on Gabriel heater. What a face. So the other day, I put a picture of my wife in my wallet. Now, there was a $1 bill and a $5 bill in it. I looked in my wallet this morning. You know what happened?
What?
George Washington was hiding in Lincoln's beard. The other night, we were getting ready to go to one of those old-fashioned costume balls. She was putting on a bustle, and she said,
Oh, John, help me on with this bustle. String me up. Come on, John, string me up.
Dad, what a temptation. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. It's just that I don't know what to talk to.
Gosh, mighty potentate, if you think you've got troubles, listen to mine. On account of me, Dr. Tao won't speak at the high school graduation, and now Mr. Colby will scalp me.
Oh, don't worry, Mel. You can always borrow my wife's toupee. But wait a minute, Mel. You're good at impersonations. Why don't you disguise yourself as Dr. Tao?
Oh, but disguises are pretty tough to get away with.
What are you talking about, Mel? For 50 years, my wife has been disguising herself as a human being.
Gee, maybe it will work.
Sure, and you'll thank me for it. Well, I gotta be going now, Mel.
Where are you going, mighty potentate?
Well, Mel, I can do one of two things. I can go to the movies and see Cheyenne, or I can go home and look at Death Valley.
Gee, the mighty potentate gave me a great idea. All I have to do is disguise myself as Dr. Tao and say a few words at the graduation. Now to talk Mr. Colby into let me do it.
Mel Blanc, I ought to massacre you for what you've done. Now this ridiculous idea of impersonating Dr. Tao.
Well, Mr. Colby, it's either I do that or you don't get your honorary degree.
Well, but do you think you can get away with it?
Oh, sure. Listen to this.
Hola, ma. Laptom sang toi olo.
What does that mean?
Two chow mein, hold the noodles.
Don't forget, Mr. Colby, the store next to my fix-it shop is a Chinese restaurant.
Well, I suppose I have no alternative. All right, get your disguise, and remember this. Bung Dao Gao, Mel Blanky Kongadiska.
Oh, what's that?
If Mel Blanc foul things up, he'd join honorable ancestors.
Mr. Colby, the graduation exercise is about to start. Now, where is Dr. Tao?
But don't worry. Don't worry. No. He's coming right from his fix-it shop. He's coming right from the station as soon as he fixes himself up.
Oh, here comes a very distinguished Chinese-looking gentleman now. That must be he.
Yes, it's he. No, it's him. No, it's he. You're right. Dr. Tao, allow me to present the principal of Monroe High, Mr. Flyshacker.
Dr. Tao, I've been preparing for this moment. As you say in China, ni hao bu hao.
Thank you. And as we say in China, egg foo young.
But egg foo young is something you eat.
I know. Last night, my wife served me egg foo young. Made it very sick.
Why?
Egg was full and not too young.
Dr. Tao, if I may ask, what is your first name?
Tingling.
Tingling?
Yes, Mother was frightened by Good Humor Man.
Dr. Tao, I've always been very interested in your customs. Now tell me, do you always eat with chopsticks?
No, me heavy eater. Use golf clubs. Oh, me make a joke. Oh, very little joke, yeah.
Doctor, now, you're a famous philosopher, and I'd like to ask you one thing. What is your opinion of life?
Which issue? We Chinese always say one picture worth 10,000 words.
Really?
Hey, you want to buy postcards? My advice to you is develop big stomach.
Big stomach? Why?
Well, Confucius say man with big stomach also has something to fall back on. That's what he say.
Dr. Chow, tell me, how do you think our system of education compares with yours?
Oh, big difference. In China, when you're smart, you go to college and get diploma. In America, when you're smart, you go to quiz program and get refrigerator.
Infinite wisdom packed into a few words.
Oh, yes, I make a mistake on the words, too, yes.
Express. By the way, what university did you attend?
Oh, went to very famous co-ed college in a Chinese city.
Peking?
Oh, no, when co-eds pass by me, take a good look. Me very good scholar in China. Just take examination. No have pen, use goose feather.
Goose feather?
Yeah, but what trouble I have using goose feather. Couldn't get one answer down.
Why not?
Paper too ticklish.
Well, I see the students have all taken their seats now, so let's go on stage and I shall introduce you. Boys and girls of Monroe High.
Well, thank heavens, Mel. For once, one of your impersonations helped Father.
Well, I'm glad he got his honorary degree.
And Father will be home with it any minute, Mel. Don't you think I ought to get off your lap?
No, Betty. As Confucius say,
man with girl on lap is like bread without yeast.
What do you mean?
He don't want to rise.
This is Mel Blanc saying thanks for listening. Good night, and that's all, folks.
This is Bud Easton reminding you that Colgate tooth powder for a breath that's sweet and teeth that sparkle brings you the Mel Blanc Show every Tuesday night at this time. Be sure to join us again next Tuesday night for more fun with Mel and the people you meet in Mel Blanc's Fix-It Shop.
Say hello to Halo Shampoo for naturally bright and beautiful hair. Remember, even finest soaps and soap shampoos hide the natural luster of your hair with dulling soap film. But Halo Shampoo contains no soap, therefore leaves no dulling soap film. Even in hardest water, Halo makes oceans of rich, fragrant lather, quickly banishes loose dandruff and dirt. Halo needs no lemon or vinegar rinse. Say hello to Halo and goodbye to dulling soap film. Get Halo Shampoo at any cosmetic counter.
Remember, Mel Blanc every Tuesday night at this time. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Makers of Linnet, the pathway to a soft, smooth skin, present for your entertainment Fred Allen and his associate members of the Linnet Bath Club Review. An announcement of unusual importance to every woman in the radio audience will be made later in this program. Be sure to listen for it. And now, on with the show.
Rise and shine, stand up and take it. Rise and shine, like what you make it. It blooms on to kiss you as he soon does. Shall hide you on your and do just as the moon does. Rise and shine, don't be a mourner. Things are fine around the corner.
presenting Fred Allen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, the Linnet Bath Club Review starts a new series of radio presentations. We have had so many requests to repeat some of our earlier program backgrounds that in the future broadcast, we are going to remain in each business for 2 or 3 weeks. We hope that you will have as much fun listening in as we have in preparing and presenting these little reviews. Tonight, we take you to the court of Judge Allen. The court hasn't opened yet, and while the judge is busy in his chamber, Lou Katzman is using the courtroom to render a musical verdict.
Hello? Judge Allen, just a minute.
Hello? No, court isn't open yet. I'm in my chamber. Yes, I try cases over the phone, Mrs. Lummox. You want a divorce? First you caught your husband kissing the woman upstairs, then you caught him kissing the woman downstairs, then he kissed the cook, huh? No, don't divorce him yet. It may be your turn next.
The reporters are here, Your Honor.
Send them in.
Good morning, Judge.
Hello, Joe. Hello, May. What's on your mind?
Oh, the editor wants to know something about your new court.
Yeah, what's the big idea opening your own court?
Well, I'll tell you. The city police courts are old-fashioned. For years, they've had everything their own way. There's been no competition.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, they don't cater to the customer. Every time you get arrested, they drag you down to court, whether it's convenient or not. They've been using the same old sentences for years, and they're still giving people pre-war fines. It's outrageous.
Well, what's your court doing?
In the first place, I'm open day and night.
Well, what about fines?
They've got to come down. In my court, you can pay your fine on the installment plan. If I fine you $10 and you haven't got it, you can make me an offer, and I'll bet you won't get away.
Say, that's great.
Oh, this will look good in the papers.
Everything else is cut rate, and I'm running a cut rate court. No case too small for me to handle. I want to put crime within the reach of every man, and you'll get justice here just as cheap as you'll get it any place.
Okay, Your Honor.
Well, so long.
Make it strong in the papers, folks.
right.
If I put this over, I'll start a chain of cut-rate courts around the country. It'll put the police out of business.
Court is ready to open, Your Honor.
Say, how does my new robe look?
Well.
Okay, I'll go right in.
Oh, yes, person having business for the court rate court.
Order in the court, please. Order in the court.
Sit down, everybody.
First case?
John Flogg versus Caesar Bemis. Assault and battery.
What happened, John?
Well, I was working at my filling station on the night of the 7th, Your Honor, when this man here...
Mr. Bemis?
Yes, he drove up in a roller skate. A roller skate? Hey, I'll brain him.
Now, wait a minute. Wait. Order in the court, please.
If he makes fun of my car again, I'll...
Sit down, Bemis.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Flugg, continue.
Well, as I was saying, he drove up the filling station, I waited on him, and he slugged me.
That's all, Flugg. He hit you for nothing?
Yes, Your Honor. He didn't charge me a cent.
Now, Bemis, take the stand and tell us your version.
Yes, Your Honor. 6 months ago, I bought a small car.
A baby Boston?
Yes, Your Honor. And my life's been miserable ever since.
People laugh at you when you're in it.
Yes, Your Honor.
And dogs bark in through the windshield?
Yes, I couldn't stand it any longer.
But why did you assault Mr. Flugg?
I drove up to his filling station and said, give me some gas and oil.
Yes?
He said a teaspoonful of gas and 4 drops of oil ought to fix you up.
Gosh, that's a pretty old joke.
Yeah, I heard it 1,000,000 times since I bought the car. But I didn't say anything. When I paid him, he said that'll be 45 cents for weaning your scooter.
And then you struck him.
No, he looked at the car and said, if you want me to sneeze in the tires, it'll be 15 cents extra.
And then you punched him.
No, I threw the car at him.
Flugg, you're fined $2.32 for assault. Bemis, for throwing the car, I'll fine you $3 for the battery. Next case?
Your Honor, Officer Morphy. He arrested these 2 midgets.
Charges, officer?
Creating a disturbance in the day nursery.
I don't try midgets in here. You know that. Take them to a lower court.
This is the lowest court I know.
That's belittling, Murphy. $10 fine.
All right, I got it right here in my pocket.
And 30 days. See if you've got that in your pocket, too. Next?
There's a little Goya, Your Honor.
Hello?
Oh, hello, Portland.
Are you surprised to see me here?
Yes, what were you arrested for?
Oh, I'm not arrested. Papa didn't come home tonight.
No?
Not yet. Mama heard the patrol go by the house, so she asked me to stop in and see if it was Papa.
He hasn't come in yet.
Well, it's early. I'll just wait till he gets here.
How do you know he's coming here?
Well, Mama gave him a $10 bill to get changed this noontime, and he wasn't home at 6 o'clock. Every time he has money, he does the same thing.
Does what?
Well, first he takes out enough to pay his fine. Then he goes to his speakeasy and lets nature take its course.
If your mother knew he wouldn't come home, why did she give him the $10?
It's funny. She thought she was giving it to a stranger.
Oh, didn't she know your father?
No. He hadn't been home for so long. She didn't remember his face.
Was he away?
No, he's been working day and night.
Those are long hours.
working for an interior decorator.
And the shop was open day and night?
Yes, they're not real interior decorators. But if you want something to drink in the middle of the night, you just call up.
What did they sell to decorate your interior?
Detrimental wine, mostly.
Detrimental wine. It's sort of a cordial shop.
Yes, they're very polite in there.
Did your father lose his job?
Yes, he brought some of the wine home, and Mama thought it was furniture polish.
What happened?
My cousin didn't know what it was, and he shined his shoes with it.
What happened to him?
When he finished, he was in a stocking feet.
That wine is detrimental, all right.
That's what Mama said.
Mama said what?
She said if you christened a boat with it, the boat would have an extra porthole.
Say, your father must be unlucky.
Yes, he had bad luck in his building and loan, too.
Really?
He went down there to draw out his money, and he stood in line all afternoon.
I could never understand why they called it the building and loan.
Well, when Papa finally got in the building, he was alone.
That's too bad. Did he get his money?
Yes, he started a rumor that the company was solvent.
And all the people put their money back in again?
Yes.
Your father certainly was clever to start a rumor like that.
He wasn't so clever. He saw the people rushing back to invest.
So what?
Well, Papa said there might be something in the rumor after all. So he put his money back in, too.
That finishes me. You can sit down here. When you hear the musical gong, it'll probably be your father.
I hope so.
Next case?
Filbert Lavender. Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with picking things up in department stores and forgetting to pay for them.
Oh, I'm so absent-minded, Judge. I pick up the strangest things. My best friend was a blacksmith, but now he hates me.
Why?
Well, you see, in a moment of weakness, I stole his anvil.
A kleptomaniac, eh? Now, you're charged with stealing 6 bottles of perfume. Guilty or not guilty?
Oh, anything that will please you, Judges.
30 days will make me very happy.
Oh, thank you. That tickles me pink.
Next.
Lillian Lowhill. Lillian Lowhill.
Take it easy, Copper. I hear you.
Yours is a very strange case, Miss Lowhill. I'd advise you to get a lawyer.
Listen, I got in here without a lawyer, and I'll get out the same way.
You're charged with leaving things in stores and public places. Now, on January 4th, you left a pound of cheese in a flower shop. On the 20th?
I know. I left 4 herrings in a jewelry store.
Yesterday, you were caught leaving cream ale in the public library. Now, what's the idea?
Well, it's this way, Your Honor. I used to steal things every place I went. I couldn't help it. It was like a disease.
You mean you were a shoplifter?
Yeah. Some big doctor said he'd cure me if I'd take 10 treatments.
What happened?
Well, I took 20 treatments to make sure. I overdid it.
Didn't you stop shoplifting?
Yeah, but now I go around leaving things in places. It's like another disease.
I'll fix you up. Officer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bring that kleptomaniac in here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Say, don't put me in a cell with that guy.
I'm not putting you in a cell.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I am, Judgy. You great big legal beauty, you.
Meet Miss Lowhill.
Oh, charmed, dearie.
Take it easy, Mayday.
Now, I'll release you on one condition. Filbert, you follow Miss Lowhill wherever she goes. I order you to pick up the things she leaves around. That'll keep you both out of trouble.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Wait a minute. Lock the doors. My watch is gone.
Oh, Judgy.
Here it is, Judge. I've seen him take it.
Fine. You two are working together already. Next.
Randolph, you saggy bottom.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with parking your car overtime.
Your Honor, I didn't.
Order, please. Will you plead guilty? The fine is $8.15 for one offense, or 2 parkings for $15.
I'm not guilty.
All right, take the stand. You'll find out whether you're guilty or not. Now, it says here you not only parked overtime, but your car was next to a fire hydrant.
Your Honor,
Order, please. While the car was parked, a fire broke out, and the fireman couldn't connect the hose. Fireman Spark?
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened?
We drove up with the engine, and the car was in the way. We seen we couldn't do nothing, so we went to another fire.
And the house burned down?
Yeah.
That's all?
I'm not guilty.
Oh, you're not. Did you know that the heat from the burning building blistered the back of Miller's Market? Mrs. Miller.
Yes, Your Honor.
Take the stand. Did you see the defendant's car parked near the fire hydrant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell us what you know about the case.
Well, my husband owns a butcher shop. And when the building next door burned down, it melted the ice in the icebox and spoiled all the meat.
How do you know it spoiled the meat?
Because my husband's sick from eating it.
Are you sure he was ptomaine from this particular meat?
Yes. Mrs. Clancy bought some of it, and her husband nearly died.
That's all. Mr. Clancy.
I'm not guilty, Your Honor.
Keep quiet, Saggy Bottom. Now, Clancy, what is your occupation?
I'm a letter carrier.
And you were poisoned by this meat?
I nearly died, Your Honor. I lost my job on account of it. I took sick and couldn't deliver the mail until 2 days later.
And when you couldn't deliver the mail, Miss Baxter was dispossessed. Miss Baxter?
Righto, Your Honor.
Tell us your story.
Well, my rent was overdue, and I sent a check the very day that Mr. Clancy was stricken.
And your check, naturally, wasn't delivered in the mail.
No, Your Honor. My letter stayed in Clancy's bag, and I was dispossessed that night, Your Honor.
I'm not guilty.
I'm not through, Mr. Saggy Bottom. This is a court of justice. Now, when Miss Baxter's check failed to arrive, the landlord, Mr. Feinbaum, found himself in financial difficulty. Mrs. Feinbaum?
Yes, George.
Tell us about your husband's dilemma.
Well, I'll tell you. Mr. Feinbaum owed the bank on his mortgage, you see. He was going to use Miss Baxter's check to settle the amount.
But he didn't receive the check, so he couldn't pay the bank.
No, the bank took the building away from my husband. Oh, and Mr. Feinbaum went crazy. He jumped out of a window. Now I'm a widow.
I'm not guilty, Your Honor.
No, Randolph, you saggy bottom. You're not guilty on the charge of parking overtime. But if your car hadn't been parked in front of the fire hydrant, Humbert Feinbaum would be alive today. I hereby charge you with the murder of Humbert Feinbaum and sentence you to 40 years. What was that shot?
Your Honor, Saggy Bottoms killed himself.
Killed himself? That'll be 10 years more for contempt of court. Next case.
Ronald C. Blotto.
Hello, baby. Hello, boy. Hello, baby.
Mr. Blotto, you're charged with intoxication, refusing to pay your check at a speakeasy, resisting an officer, and inciting a riot. Guilty or not guilty?
See my lawyer.
Is your attorney here in court?
Right there, Your Honor, on the job.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
I'm Roy Retwell, counselor at law, notary niblick, public.
Roy Atwell?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defendant guilty?
Guilty? Guilty? Yes. No. 1,000 islands, no. I demand a habeas corpus, a flounder, a corpus. My client is as innocent as a newborn babe. This case is as clear as the crystal.
Boy, I'll tell you, Webster.
Order in the court, please.
Oh, no harm done, Your Honor. My client is feeding his goat. Feeling his oats. Mr. Blotto's a prince. A hail fellow and well met.
No, never mind that. Put him on the stand.
No sooner shed than done. I'll have him acquitted in milkshakes of a clam's tail. Mr. Blotter, will you take the stand? Your Allen, he's a slobber. A sober as a fudge. Yes.
Proceed with the case, if you will.
Exactly. Now, Mr. Blotto, we want the truth and butter, not the sleuth. Mr. Truth, we want the sleuth and nothing but I object.
Wait a minute. What are you objecting for?
Well, I thought I'd take the words out of your mouth. Every time I try a case, somebody objects.
And the boy Darrell, and the boy old Clarence.
Order, please. Now, was your client in the speakeasy on the night in question?
Of course he was in the speakeasy. Every man has his place, and my client's place was in the pig and bristle, the whistle.
What's that?
With the pig and pickle, the pig and pickle, the whistle, that's the squeak. Oh, let it go.
Please. Had the defendant been drinking?
Mrs. Blotto, have you been drinking?
I was polluted. Here's the bill, boy. Was I drinking? Look at this.
It's a list of drinks. Two brandy boats, and Tom and Jerry.
When did the trouble start?
The stubble start? The stubble start? There was no bubble startle. Someone put a mum's extra fly bottle in my client's hand, and he tossed it out of to a waiter.
Hello, boy, old technocrat.
Quiet, please. Now, he tossed the bottle.
He tossed the bottle, yes. The bum's extra dry bottle. And the waiter ducked. And the bottle went through the window.
Then the police came in.
Yes, the cops broke down. The cops broke down the doors. But the waddle was empty, and the cops wanted to know why.
Hail. Order, please. Now continue, Mr. Atwell.
But my client was as cute as a cucumber. He threw a cop through a window.
Through the same window?
Yes, he saw a hole in the window, and he didn't want to see it go to waste.
No, I object. Have a little drink.
Here, Blotto. Put that flask away.
I object. Pass it around.
Give me the flask, officer.
It's nothing, Your Honor. It's ginger ale or root beer, I'll bet.
If this is intoxicating liquor, Blotto will get luck.
Intoxicating liquor? Taste it, Your Honor. Why, it's probably nothing but some mouth sauce, or a gargle that he's been taking for a sore goat. A sore soap.
It smells like liquor.
Taste it, Your Honor. Taste it.
tastes like liquor, too. You try it that way.
Yes. That's not liquor. It's liquor. I'll say it's lemon lospe.
Here, let me taste it again. No. It's Scotch.
No, give me another taste. No, that's not Scotch. It's orange squash.
Well, I'll try once more. No, it's Scotch. Yeah, stop that sing, you. If I can sing better than myself.
Don't deny, Nudge. I mean, son.
Hey, let's make it a trio.
All
right, boys, let's go.
Let's
my heart, bleed Next case.
The Sisters of the Blue Nose versus Floppo Stock Company.
State your case, Miss Snoop.
Well, I am president of the Sisters of the Blue Nose. The Floppo Stock Company put on an indecent show, and we raided the theater.
Mr. Ham, are you the producer of these shows?
I'm not only the producer, but the guiding star, the leading light.
We're going to put your light out. The actors are a public menace. Show them no mercy, Judge.
The quality of mercy is not strange.
This is no time for poetry, Ham. What show were you presenting?
That famous melodrama, And the Smell of the Yukon.
Oh, yes. That's the play about the Alaskan gold rush.
It's indecent, Judge. It's all about gold diggers.
All is not gold that's in bridge work, madam.
No proverbs, Ham. Are you guilty or not guilty?
You're the judge.
That's right. I forgot. Is your company here?
Yes, Your Honor.
They're terrible, too.
We'll soon find out. Now, let me see the questionable part of this play.
Yes, gladly. You'll see the play is as clean as the driven snow.
Yes, snow that's been driven through Pittsburgh.
Quiet, quiet. On with the show.
I say, Big Chief Running Pants, are you sure you know the way?
We know every foot in Alaska.
Oh, Your Honor, that's a suggestive remark.
He knows every foot. He's an Indian chiropodist. That's not vulgar. Go on, Ham.
The place is full of wolves. Look at those tracks.
Wolf no have track. Tick have track.
Look, Chief, in the mountains. Those figures are moving.
Mountain goat.
You mean it's a haunted mountain?
Good haunting ground. Much goat.
Goats? I thought you said ghosts. It's a beautiful sight. Thousands of goats. It's the smell of the Yukon.
Much beautiful. Fui.
Speaking of goats, reminds me of Frisco Kate. She's up here somewhere, Chief Running Pants, and I'll find her if it takes all night.
Oh, Your Honor, Frisco Kate is...
Quiet, quiet.
Look, he big dance hall. Much good firewater. Free war.
We'll go in. They may know Frisco Kate.
Hello there, strangers. Come on in and get warm.
Thank you, gal.
Where bar?
In the back room, straight ahead.
What do you have, Stranger?
2 Tom and Jerry.
I'll give you Tom, but I'm all out of Jerry's.
2 Toms, then.
You prospecting for gold?
No, partner. I'm a seeking Frisco Kate. She's worth her weight in gold to any man.
She ain't been here, Stranger.
I wonder if any of the boys have met up with her.
Wait a minute. I'll pour the joint. Quiet, everybody. Give me your attention.
Wait a minute, Ham. This show is putrid, but it's not vulgar.
It's obscene.
Miss Snoop, you're wasting the court's time. This acting isn't suggestive.
No, but the dancing is.
What dancing?
Well, when I saw the show, a girl named La Belle Fatima did a dance called the Dying Duck.
The Dying Duck?
Yes. And from the looks of her costume, the duck died of exposure.
Mr. Ham?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is La Belle Fatima here?
Yes, but she can't dance, Your Honor. Her costume is missing.
A little thing like that shouldn't stop her.
Quiet. Miss Snoop, not knowing the nature of the dance, I can't act.
Nature of the dance is right. It was all nature.
Well, since I can't see the dying duck, I'll have to dismiss the case.
No, Your Honor. Before I'll see these criminals freed, I'll do the dance for you myself.
You will? How did it start?
Well, she came out wiggling, like this.
I see. And then what happened?
Well, her feet stood still and her body acted like $2 worth of jelly, looking for a place to gel, like this.
I'm getting a good idea of it now.
Anybody? You're under arrest.
Just a minute, officer. What's this?
It's a raid, Your Honor. We've had complaint about your court. We'll have to pinch this dame who's doing the dance.
Oh, there's some mistake. Oh, save me, Judge.
You'll get 20 years for this, Miss Snoop.
Oh, I'll never live to do it.
Do as much of it as you can.
Come on, lady, come on.
lies. The thrill is gone. The nights are cold. For love is old. Love was grand when love was new. Birds were singing, skies were blue. Now it don't appeal to you. The thrill is gone. This is the end. So why pretend and let it ring the
Tonight, why not enjoy the soothing luxury of a Linnet bath? Notice what complete relaxation it affords your entire body. And notice, too, the refreshing difference in your skin. Linnet, spelled Linit, is sold by your grocery store, drug, or department store, and costs only 10 to 15 cents according to the size of the package. Before returning you to Fred Allen, may we again remind you of our attractive perfume container offer. Make a memo now to write for yours tonight. Send the top flap of a Linnet package together with 10 cents to cover handling and postage. You will find the address printed on both the Linnet and Cream Ale packages. And here is Fred Allen.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll all be looking for you next Sunday, so long.
Saying good night for Linnet. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.